Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Passions Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the soap opera passions. I am your regular host, Latara, back today with a lovely panel of guest hosts. Welcome to Maria, Eric, and Lisa. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here again. How are you feeling?
Looking forward to it. I'm excited.
I'm so excited, and I'm also Eric. Kiss my tamale goodbye, Lopez Fitzgerald Crane.
Yes.
We are talking about episodes 726 through 730 today. Yes,
727 is
Maria's been texting me, messaging me, sending me smoke signals about 727 for like a week and a half.
Maria just got a tattoo of 727 over the weekend.
I'm sure this is 727.
Because Maria is finally vindicated this week, and we will get into it. We'll get into it all. And when we get there, of course, I'm going to let Maria take the lead on what is her favorite storyline, Gwen and Ethan, and them basically getting back together this week. So before we jump into the show, I got to give a quick shout out to all of the patrons over on Patreon, 3 of which are here with us today. Thank you to Moon Ashe, Brie Lynn, Lisa, Sid, Sarana, Randall, Hannah, Camelia, Samantha, Jeanette, Eric, Fantasia, Sean, S, Larissa, Maria, Greg Lopez Fitzgerald, Lisa, Jessica Jean, Laura, Karen, Uche, Paige, Casey, Garrinch, Tom Bergeron, Pablo, Daisy, Shane, Kelly, and Taylor Harris Crane. Thank you all so much for being patrons, hanging in there with me. And we've been having a good time on the watch parties, which I'm going to, now that I forgot to tell you, Maria, I passed my exam.
Yay, congratulations. We are still going out for drinks to celebrate because that's an amazing feat.
Thank you. I'm so excited. So now that I've passed to all my listeners, now that I've passed my insurance broker's exam, I have more time on my hands to devote to passion. So we will be having a couple of watch parties and a Halloween party this month. Okay. By the time this gets to the general feed, it'll be time for it. but it is what it is. Y'all should be on the Patreon. So with that said, also, you can become a free patron and you can still see everything that's going on. You just can't participate. But if you see something that you like, you can always join a higher.
So that's like Jessica level. You're there, but you don't do anything.
Right. You're part of the cast.
Yeah.
The free level, the Jessicas and Simones of it all.
Yes. Which we do get to see this week. They make an appearance.
You're invited to all the parties.
And,
that's it.
Simone gets her same old line. Jessica gets her same old line. Shut up, Reese. And that's like it. So let's jump right into these episodes. So we're gonna start today. We're gonna start with the magic storyline. Where's my music? Here it is. All right, we're starting today with our magic storyline, which I'm gonna let Eric take the lead on. But I mean, I'll get you started, okay?
Please.
So, just a reminder to everyone. Last week, Timmy was still out and about on his adventure, his Tim Ventures, and Charity is still trying to figure out where he is, right? So he gets caught on camera by lawmen. Remember the show that's kind of like Cops, because he broke into that convenience store for those kids. And so now Charity sees it and she makes a call to find out where he is, right? She calls the lawmen and says, I missed the first part of that episode. Can you tell me where that was? And they tell her exactly where he is, basically.
But she says it in a more fun accent than that.
What was the accent?
Hello. I've missed the first part of that of that episode. Can you tell me where it is? It's like, oh, where are you? Oh, but it works.
I was wondering why she was like disguising her voice. Like, I was like, what is this about? Because it did seem like she was trying to do like an accent.
Yeah, also calling the Dark Side Directory assistance line. I was like, writers, you're really lazy. Like this is
A little bit.
really bad.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, she calls the dark side assistance line, directory assistance line, to connect her to lawmen. But I'm pretty sure lawmen had like 1-800-lawmen on the screen. Like, if you see this person, call 1-800-lawmen.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what did she think was going to happen if she used her regular voice? Were they going to be like, Charity? Like,
right?
A demon. Like, I don't know. But so what happens next?
Well, I did want to point out, I don't know if anybody's checked in with Harmony Hospital, specifically the psychiatric ward, but I thought maybe we had a Norma's father appearance because for some reason Zombie Charity was stroking a skull.
She was? I missed
Oh,
yeah, so I was like,
that
was just random little, I was really hoping for her to be, where's my little baby girl? I was hoping for a voice, but Norma's not there. It was just some skull in Tabitha's attic.
Yeah. Did anyone pick up on the Perry Mason sound?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
I sure did.
Like,
I said,
nice.
The first line is Timmy is panicking to Perry Mason.
Is that what the music was? I know this is a reference to something. I don't know what the reference is. Like, so is Perry Mason. Nice. Thank you for catching that. I love when you catch all the little pop culture references.
I stand next to
they shove a lot.
I always have Shazam and Soundhound ready to go because, especially like later, they pull from so many movie soundtracks, like so many movie soundtracks. I'm like, this is too pretty to be Passions. And then I'm looking, it's from like Jacob's Ladder or like just really just beautifully orchestrated. I'm like, those sons of guns.
This is too pretty to be Passions. That should be on a t-shirt. All right.
Well, and I mean, I'm happy that you said that, Lisa, because this is, again, we're solidifying this Wizard of Oz story arc that Timmy is going to be going on through the foreseeable future. And they're just going to pound it into us to the fact that we have Toto, our wishbone looking dog, who, you know what? That is a damn cute looking dog. I mean,
so cute.
So well trained. Yeah. I mean, it just stands there.
It's a very good boy.
He's really good. And at that time, I believe the movie The Mask was airing, and so at that point, Jack Russell's became extremely popular.
That is right.
That wasn't there.
Milo, isn't it?
That actually
Milo. That's right. Yeah.
Wasn't The Mask the 90s?
Lisa. Yeah. Lisa said something last week about the dog looking like Eddie from Frasier. And I wonder if it is the same dog from Frasier because they were on the same network. And Frasier ended in like 2001, 2004.
No,
it was like later than that. So I wonder if they just used that same dog.
Listen,
I think so.
If anyone should have been nominated for an Emmy, it should have been Eddie.
Moving on. I'm still on my first damn note. We have to keep going, y'all.
Yeah. I'll speed us up a little bit. Tabitha throughout the week has been really, really scared for Timmy, and it is very endearing to watch. That is something that I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. I did want to remark that Charity starts to create a potion to see Timmy again, but as we pointed out in the watch party, she just like snapped her fingers in an episode before that, or like earlier this episode, and watched it through a mirror. So it was just very confusing. But Eye of Newt, I did not know came in powdered sugar form or granulated. Like she just dashed some Eye of Newt.
Yeah, you can get it
Eye of Newt would actually be.
You just have to go to the spice store and get it. She's doing her spells
of Buster Keaton. I could not hear the pronunciation, but I'm sure somebody here did. I heard the spell of Buster Keaton.
Is what I
There we go. That sounds way better than what I heard.
So she does this spell, y'all, and Tabitha exclaims, "Oh no, not the spell of Belda Cruston. What a horrible fate for my sweet Timmy, right? What horrible fate awaits Timmy." So this spell is supposed to be really horrible. And then they look into this crystal ball that's like smoky or whatever. And at first it's green, and then after she casts the spell, it turns to red. And then we see all of these creatures be transported to where Timmy is. Alligators, giant iguanas, giant tarantulas. Was there anything else that was like attacking him? No, those are the 3 I wrote down.
Alligators.
Iguanas.
Yeah.
I saw iguanas.
Yeah.
And it was called the spell of Bellicose. And I looked up the meaning. It's inclined to start quarrels or wars is the meaning of the word.
So
see, they're lazy to make her call a fake hotline, but then they give her an accurate type of spell sounding.
It's insane.
Well, she does the spell. The alligators and the iguanas and the tarantulas attack Timmy as slowly as they possibly fucking
They're just like meandering around like the way that like people walk around during like a cocktail hour, like for like a wedding. They're just sort of like they're just sort of like
That's funny.
Oh, is that you? You look great.
She like transported them there but gave them no real purpose. Like it's like when you're playing The Sims and you have the free will turned all the way on for them, because on The Sims you can adjust the free will of the Sims to where you can be like straight up God and they can't do anything without you, or it can be in the middle and they can choose little things, or it can be like you get no power at all basically. And it was like she forgot to put herself as God for them, and so they just went down there and started to just crawl around in random directions.
Just did what animals do.
They or tell them what to do at all. Throughout this, Tabitha keeps wishing she had her powers, which is foreshadowing. And then I do laugh because it's something as simple as Timmy and Toto leaving.
They just walk around a corner.
Yeah.
I wrote Timmy manages to escape the animals. It's unclear how. He just leaves.
And
Timmy walks around the corner casually, and Charity's incredulous that he got away.
Yeah, and Tabitha's like, he did it! He knew how to walk!
Yes. No, and she goes to show that it takes more than just having powers to know how to use them, though. I had enough, and I will not let you hurt Timmy.
Yeah,
it was so good to see. First of all, I love any kind of Tabitha sass, so I was just reeling over that moment.
She really stands up to Zombie, and I love it. She says she's had enough. I will not let you hurt my Timmy. And then Zombie immediately uses her power, calls her Flabby Tabby.
Flabby Tabby.
And then uses her powers to knock her out of the room and knocks her to the floor. Tabitha takes a real beating this week, literally. Man.
Yes, she does.
And so she blows her out of the room. She knocks her to the floor, closes the door so that she can't get back in. It's elder abuse. And then she starts to direct these animals towards Timmy again, but he has found his way inside of like a storage shed. Yeah. Like a big one. Yeah. I think he was like at a park, so maybe it was just like the park's like shed where they stored like their
gardening equipment.
He basically just emptied out the store from the last set.
It looked exactly the same. I was like, did he just go back to the store?
No, they just like took out some shelves and then
put
in
a lawnmower.
They called it a shed.
So she's directing them towards him, but he's inside the storage shed with Toto. And then she does cast another like spell, and at first I thought she had just like made the lawnmower come to life, but which she did, and it started like coming towards Timmy. So there's a red lawnmower and it comes towards Timmy and it's like, and he's like running around this place terrified of this lawnmower, of course, because he's tiny, and if he can get caught by that, it could be really, really bad for him. She actually, it's not even magic really, because she's using a joystick. Like,
she manifests a joystick around. Very Freddy Krueger like.
Do you remember the movie Maximum Overdrive?
Yes, I love that movie. Very bad movie, but I love it.
Yeah, it reminded me of Maximum Overdrive. That terrified me. Like the thought that like the cars could come to life and run you down.
The ice cream truck is coming after you.
Yeah. So what happens next?
Well, there's stuff going on in the other part of Harmony that will get to magic eventually, but if we're going to stay on this route, Tabitha has been blown away by Charity and the door is locked, and Tabitha can't get back in. She hears Timmy screaming for help, and again, another moment where Tabitha talks about being burned at the stake and being stoned to death, and that hearing Timmy's wails of pain hurts her way more than those two experiences. And just to applaud Juliet Mills, her acting in here is so sincere. It's so go for it, Lisa. I was just gonna say it's so crazy.
Compelling. She's so compelling. Like everything you just. Yes, I believe you. Yes, I don't feel that Kay loves Miguel all the time. I know that she does, but I don't. Once in a while, I'm like, oh no, but I really like every wrinkle in her on her face and the way she listens when Charity's talking. Just what a pro. Just what a precious gem to on the screen.
Yeah. It was great.
It's just powerful, and it's so funny because the soap opera that we love to rag on has some incredible acting from time to time and very solid performances. But when you get Juliet Mills doing something like that, you're just like, oh yeah, this is why we really like it. So much so to the point where Timmy's running for his life for a good long while from this lawnmower. We get a lot of
Timmy ignores the 84 shelves that he could safely crawl on or hide in. And he also ignores the door that he walked into that put him in this shed. And
that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, because the way he thwarts this lawnmower is that he's like, oh, Toto, I have an idea. He stands in front of the door and waits for it to zoom towards him so that when it got close to him, he moved out of the way really quickly and it just went right through the door. However, he could have just gone out of the door and closed it behind him and ran away.
What are you doing? Get on the shelf.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, he gets away. Then Zombie Charity, the whole thing is ridiculous. But this was particularly ridiculous.
No, this next part gets so dumb.
Yeah. Puts on a turban, takes out a little flute to play. And I don't know what the specific name of that instrument is. Starts to play it as if she is a snake charmer. And it
with hat and everything.
Yeah. With the turban. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that causes the water hose inside of this storage shed that Timmy is in to act basically like a boa constrictor and grab him and start to strangle him. Mm-hmm. And so Tabitha, what does Tabitha do?
Oh my God, this was the best. And this is one of those things where I always laugh because people are like, I don't remember her ever having powers. Does she have powers? What are the rules here? We don't know the damn rules. You know what? Tabitha supposedly her powers are all over with Zombie Charity now. But I do remember this. There have been multiple times where Tabitha's like, I think I can muster up enough energy to do something. And so Tabitha, this is as exciting as 727 for me, is Tabitha uses her actual powers for once. Yay. Finally, God bless it. She spends a little bit of time trying to rev up and she blows down that door. And she uses she's so proud of herself also. I'm getting chills. That means it's correct. And then she goes running towards Charity and just pushes her off the stool that she's on.
It was great.
And smashes the bowl.
And she uses her, lightning, actually uses it to just finish her. Yeah, she totally did it.
She manages to break the crystal ball so that Charity can't see Timmy anymore.
Timmy was being suffocated by the hose. Yes. If we didn't make that clear.
Right. It was strangling him, but it wasn't anymore once she stopped or once she got Charity.
And then Tabitha says, and that is, as they say, is that.
I did love seeing Tabitha use her powers, find some powers to use. I loved it. I was just like, yes, girl, you got it. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. The little witch that could.
To me, it's just like a mother whose kid is underneath the car and they managed to lift. Like, that's what she did. She managed to find that strength, and I thought that was really fun.
Don't mess with Mama Bear's cub.
Yeah.
So at this point, of course, Zombie Charity is pissed, right? And so she starts to chase Tabitha around, and she zaps into place like a cord across the stairwell, basically, where Tabitha was going down the stairs, but she trips over this like cord, and she
falls hard.
Tumbles down the stairs, and she's knocked the fuck out. Okay, the fall has knocked her out, and then Zombie Charity goes down, straddles this old ass woman, and starts, viciously,
grabs her by the hair to lift her up.
Yeah, viciously and voraciously starts slapping the shit out of her.
This made me really uncomfortable. I did not enjoy watching it at all.
It was literally, I agree, Maria, because I was like, oh no, they got to get rid of this bitch. Bring back regular Charity. I guess I've had my fill of this evil bitch, because that was like the line for me. Not the part where she was going to murder Miguel by having sex with him, but this is the line. Yeah. So she viciously and voraciously is like slapping the crap out of Tabitha. And she says to her, wake up. I want to see the look in your eyes before I kill you. And so at this point, let's go over to the Bennett home and talk about what's going on at the Bennett home, because all of these people are going to eventually make their way over to Tabitha's house.
Yeah. Yes. I'll just say, I just want to applaud the stunt person that took that fall for Juliet Mills, and whatever wig master put that wig on that stunt person, because that looked like Juliet Mills' hair.
It did. Maybe she did her own stunt. Maybe she did.
Maybe. I don't know. It looked really good.
She's a real pro.
For Passions using that awful movie effects for snow and for breath or whatever, that was a good practical effect.
Yeah.
And that's not Juliet Mills' like actual hair. That is a wig. So you can just put that on the stump of the book.
Right, that's true.
But they're not like they don't make the big burly men do anything physical in this show. And they make that woman fall downstairs, get knocked over, get tackled, dance, swing from vines, push. She has to. I mean, obviously not her, but like she has to get on the floor, get off the floor, eventually hold things for very long periods of time that are definitely not light. Meanwhile, the men are just like, "Do you need me to turn the hot water on?" And they're not doing anything physical.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, whatever.
Let's head over to the Bennett home, where preparations are underway for Charity's 18th birthday party.
I hate it.
I have so much to say about this birthday party.
So much to say.
Oh, I can't wait, because I wrote 3 notes about it. So I'm glad y'all have so much to say, baby. I was like bored out of my mind.
The first snide joke that happens is Grace is like, well, we're getting, we're so excited to be throwing this party. And Kay's like, did we get a lot of declines?
I love her. Listen, Kay, this week I'm interested in where we go with this. I at one point thought maybe Kay was really gonna blow it all up. And I think she still might try to. I don't know, but we'll get there. The thing about this party though is that we have to remember that Zombie Charity asked to make it a joint birthday party / welcome to the family party for Noah. So at one point, again, this party has not started. And it's unclear when the party actually started, or if it has started or not, later on. It's very unclear. But Grace has Simone help her bring out all of these gifts for John.
Yeah. So I'm so happy.
For every year they've missed together, which is sweet.
It's very pretty. But listen, had you not told me that Zombie Charity did that because I did not watch those episodes. I was going to give Grace an ass kicking like you never would have seen before because I was like, how did she manage to make Charity's party about John? That is helpful information.
Yeah, Zombie Charity did that. See, that's what I'm here for. That's
Got it.
what I'm here for.
I was gonna be like, you are a horrible person.
I still thought it was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. It really was.
I still thought it was inappropriate because it's not his birthday. It's Charity's birthday. And even if you are like including him in the celebrations, I think it makes sense to, on his birthday, give him all those gifts. But on Charity's birthday, give somebody else a bunch of fucking gifts doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And to me it's inappropriate, but whatever. Yeah. That's what they did. It was a mountain of gifts.
Gross. Because guys came into another room and be like, hey, I wanted to know, I got you all these. Or like the next day do it. Just be like, one for every year I missed. I hated it because I hate Grace right now, but like it is an actual sweet thought. I don't know what he's gonna do, but like,
yeah, it is a sweet thought.
I didn't find it sweet at all. I didn't like the whole idea of I got you a gift for every year. Why?
What am I?
I don't understand how that's supposed to be that sweet. Like, is it supposed to be? Oh, wait, when you were young, here's a little T-shirt I would have given you. Here, when you're 2.
This time.
No,
onesie.
I wasn't thinking about it like that.
No.
I was thinking about it as if there's like, I don't know, they've missed like 20 years together or whatever because he's like in college, right? So they've missed 20 years together. Then it would be like 20 gifts of things that he would need now, that he would like now, but not like, here's a skateboard for when you turn 16.
Right.
You know, like, I don't think.
Here's a G.I. Joe, right?
I agree. If it was in fact that, she was giving him like action figures for his 7th birthday, then I agree that it's not sweet at all. It's just sad and depressing.
But that's still just weird. If you want to sort of give him a gift that means do a weekend getaway, mother-son time. Like, you're sitting there with all this material stuff. Do stuff where you get to know each other. Because you missed 20 years.
Yeah. I did enjoy the fact that Grace is like, come on, John, you and David are part of this family now. And we're not giving David any lines this week. David cannot speak. And so we just get a glance of Eve and David looking at each other like, this is what we signed up for.
I didn't appreciate the fact that she was like, David's part of the family now.
That was weird. He's not.
Just because he's John's dad? No, he's part of John's family, but he's not part of your family.
I was happy Sam wasn't there to hear it.
Yeah, so whatever. But you know what?
I just want to know, where's Noah's gifts when he shows up? Is she going to show up with the mountain of gifts of when he's away from college? They haven't given Noah
a gift in years. They don't even think about Noah. Even though that's her precious firstborn son, but
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's why it changed. The love moved.
Those were all gifts she was gonna give to Noah for his birthday, but she gave it to John instead because he's now the firstborn.
That would have been cool if he opened one of the gifts and it was a sweater and it said Noah across the chest, and he's like, "Mom, I love it."
Right. He would say it. If you think it looks like John. Thanks so much.
That is really good.
Here's a good question. No, here's a good question. If Noah decides he wants to move in, would she give him Charity's room?
No. I can tell you that Charity is number 1 of all the kids for Grace. Charity is number 1. You see, we don't even talk about Noah. We don't even know where the fuck Noah is, really. They don't either. It's been like 4 Christmases. We have not seen him. Okay?
I'm not saying Noah. I'm saying, will she give David Charity's room?
Oh, no, John. Would she give John
Charity's room? Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I could see her giving John Charity's room. I could see her giving John Charity's room because she has so much guilt. The reason she has, because we have been on this too long, because this isn't even a big plot point this week, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep talking about it. The reason, we lost Lisa.
She said Zombie Charity snapped her fingers.
The reason, one of the reasons that she has such like love for Charity is out of guilt, right? And I think she also has a ton of guilt around John for just not being there, even though she had no choice not to be there, right? So I think she has more guilt around John than she does around Charity. And so, yeah, I do agree. I think she probably would give John Charity's room if it came down to it. Moving on, we got to get through this because I have 3 pages of like Theresa, Ethan, Gwen notes. I only have like a page of these. So,
let's move.
Anyway, this damn party. They're getting ready for it. Meanwhile, Kay goes outside, discovers Miguel like gift wrapping a gift for Charity. She's like, "Let me help you," and he won't let her. But she like insists, and then she grabs it and she opens it. She's like, "Miguel, what is this?" It was like a black something. I assume it's lingerie.
Edible panties.
It was edible panties. Yeah.
I'm always gonna say it like B. Arthur whenever I can.
Arrangement. And she sees the lingerie. She is appalled. "Miguel, what is this?" And he's like,
"I didn't like what she said."
What did she say?
Miguel does say, "Keep your voice down. I don't want my mom to hear." Pilar is not in this episode. She's not in the whole week. So
was she not there at the top when they were setting up the party? I thought I saw her.
I don't remember seeing her.
I don't remember seeing her.
Maybe that was Eve. I might have.
Yeah, I think it was Eve. So I was
I know Eve was there, but
it's just something so gross about like, "Keep your voice down. I don't want my mom to hear." Like, it was just so.
Maybe he meant to say her mom.
No.
Also,
no, he did say Pilar.
He did say his mom because Pilar. I guess Pilar was there. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
With that said, what Kay said that pissed me off was because she's having to come up with an excuse as to why she would be so upset about this, and she would like about them having sex. Like, he's like, she's turning 18. We've been talking about this. It is what it is. You already know this. But she's like, "I don't want Charity ending up like your sister Theresa." And the fact that Miguel did not say anything, I was so pissed off.
Well, he was offended. I will say he was offended when she said that. He was like, "That could never happen to Charity."
but that's not enough for me. He went over and was like, he said, "That would never happen to Charity." Your sister didn't ask for this.
Right.
Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
Let me just say this. I agree with you. I'm just saying, he says that would never happen to Charity because he knows that he himself is not going to abandon Charity with a baby, right? He in his mind, however, and this is a spoiler, so go ahead and close your ears if you don't know. He didn't mind running off to find Charity after Kay had that baby. He did not. He was like, "Oh no, I just love Charity so much and I can't live without her. I'll send you money for Maria."
Yep.
I hated that storyline as well.
Yeah. Talking about she could never end up I could never do that because I would never leave. But see, the thing is, he would never leave Charity saddled with a fucking baby. But he sure did leave Kay with that baby. All right, spoilers are done.
You can come back.
You can come back now. Okay, I'm sorry to anybody but I said whatever. I probably should have said a time limit, but whatever. They'll fast forward.
Yeah.
Or whatever, they'll get spoiled. It's
whatever. It's 20 years old.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah. By the time that happens, you're gonna forget about this anyway. By the time it happens, you're gonna forget about this.
John, right? As John,
It's all good, Daisy. We probably ruined it for you in the Discord already, anyway.
Yeah. So, anyway, Miguel says, Charity, that can never happen to Charity. We're gonna end up together anyway. She gives him kind of a lecture about having, sex with each other and how they shouldn't be having sex. It's not safe right now for them to have sex because they're too young and whatever. He's like, "Well, we already know we want to spend the rest of our lives together. We know that we want to get married and someday have kids anyway, so we might as well start now."
So gross.
And so he walks off from her. He walks off in a huff because he's annoyed with the whole conversation. Simone comes out, says her one line, anybody want to say it? We can all say it in unison, which is, "You're never going to get Miguel, Kay. Give it up, Kay. You're never going to get Miguel," right? Like,
I would have appreciated some TGIF applause when she walked in and said her line, because that's how much she says.
Give it up, Kay. You're never going to get Miguel. Yeah. They have a little conversation. It's not important. Poor Simone gets no airtime. So later on, Kay also has another encounter with Miguel wherein she finds the hotel room key because he's booked a hotel room for tonight so that he and Charity can have a special sexual experience together. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's what it is. And
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, I don't know, it feels weird saying it, I guess. So she like admonishes him about the hotel, gives him basically the same kind of like speech again. Miguel runs off immediately because he's like, I hear something coming from Tabitha's house. Wasn't Charity there? Charity! And he goes running over to Tabitha's house. I heard nothing. Did y'all hear anything? I didn't hear a bump.
Yes.
I didn't hear a yell.
Yeah.
You did? I didn't hear anything.
I'm assuming very the faint. Sound was either, if at time-wise, it felt like it was when Tabitha blew down the door, but I think we were supposed to be led to believe that it was when Tabitha fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Okay.
That could be wrong.
No, that makes sense because he goes running over there, and he and Kay go running over there, and they walk in on zombie Charity straddling what looks to be Tabitha's lifeless body and viciously slapping the crap out of her. Okay.
And it looked like she was punching her. It wasn't slaps.
It's sad.
They look like punches.
Yeah, maybe it was punches. It maybe was. Whatever it was vicious. It was hard to watch.
I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it. I was hoping that it wasn't Juliet Mills, that they had used the stunt double for that, because that just seemed really uncomfortable.
It was excessive. Eric, you were going to say something?
I liked it. I don't know. I really did. I was laughing so hard.
I liked it.
Crazy.
I really enjoy watching elder abuse. Dang, Eric. I just love the way you said it so like nonchalant. I liked it.
Well, because I was like, earlier I was going to defend it, and I was going to say I laughed, and I was like, oh man, they really hate it. I was like, I'll keep it to myself. Then it came back again, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to say it now.
Always share your opinions, because the thing is,
I don't condone elder abuse whatsoever.
Of course not. I didn't like hate it. I just found it hard.
I found it comical.
It was very vicious. Like the hits were very vicious, and she was lifeless. Like her body was limp.
Yeah, if she had been like comically like get off like that, then I think I would have found it funnier. But there was something very visceral about like this, like she was Charity. Now that Molly's like committing to like fully.
It's something about that hair.
It was like very like, and you could hear the slaps, even though they weren't that well timed.
They were. They were. I think that's why I was laughing as well.
They were really well timed, but I think because we were I think maybe it hit me differently because I was just rooting for Tabby so fucking hard. Like she had just such a huge win, and now like I'm like then now she's my Timmy and I'm Mama Bear, and I'm like don't you slap that precious face.
That sweet lady, that sweet old lady who sank the Titanic. She does deserve a couple.
Who's killed thousands of people.
I know. I mean, she is evil.
What's a couple of slaps to this?
But she's
unconscious.
But
it wasn't fair. She was unconscious. Like
she's our lovable witch, lunatic witch.
Yeah, she's our lovable bitch of a witch. She. I mean, what's a few slaps to a person who's committed mass murder throughout the ages, right? Like, we have to remember that.
Yeah,
but that was off screen. I didn't see it. It was off screen. So
I didn't see it. So
if it was pre-story, it doesn't count.
At this point, it's hearsay.
You know the sound, the TikTok sound. What murder?
Yeah.
Great God.
That's how we. Yeah. That's how we look at Tabitha.
That's how we look at Tabitha. I have to get that sound on my soundboard. What about all the murder? What murder? Okay. So anyway,
find the sound and then just insert it into this part of the podcast.
I have to. So Kay and Miguel show up and are shocked to see the scene that they have happened upon, right? Kay runs over. Miguel immediately is like, what are you doing, Charity? Kay runs over, like pushes Zombie out of the way, grabs Tabitha, pulls her up. She exclaims, Tabitha's dead and Charity killed her. Oh boy, Tabitha's dead and Charity killed her. Do I have some music?
Yes, nice.
I don't know if it's loud enough, but anyway.
No, you can hear it. So yeah, you can hear it.
Tabitha's dead and Charity killed her is what Kay says. So they call Dr. Russell, of course.
Oh my God. I feel like every time they do that, they should put, like, they should scroll something like, in case of real emergency, please call 911. They should always, because, like, who's watching it are kids. And they should never call a family. If someone's unconscious at the bottom of the stairs, you should just call 911 immediately. And I feel like it's so, like, the show is irresponsible.
Yeah, because
call your neighborhood doctor.
The thing is, even though Eve was right next door, so it makes sense that they would be like, she's right there, like she can come and administer help. They still would need to go ahead and call 911 in case, which it seems like Tabitha needs to be transported, right, to the hospital in case we need an ambulance here.
Now, I know oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and what good is Eve going to do? She doesn't need to give her sedative. She's already sleeping.
Well, I was going to say,
You were going to say that, sorry.
No. I thought you were going to push the button.
Oh, I was.
Do you want a sedative or something to quiet your nerves?
That would have been hysterical if she holds up Tabitha's lifeless body and goes, I really think you need a sedative.
I really think you need a sedative.
I was going to actually defend Eve. Now, I know the bar is really low for Dr. Eve Russell, but her examination was successful. She was able to tell that it looked like Tabitha had been slapped.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of Eve.
She did. She said, well, she does have some marks on her face. Because, okay, so they called Eve over and the whole party comes over, right? And so it's Eve, Grace, Reese, and those other children, the ones that no one cares about, Jessica and Simone. There we go. And I the only reason I remember Reese is because, of course, he's there to badger Tabitha. Like, that's his whole point. So
when's the last time we saw Reese?
This is the first time we've seen him since the last time we saw the Jessica or Simone.
He kind of correctly. He makes a crack. He's like, Charity's attaching Tabitha. Geez, I leave for 10 minutes and all hell breaks loose. So like, it was sort of like a meta wink to like, haven't seen me in a while, have you?
Right.
Audience.
And my only note on him was Ross's ass is in this fucking episode.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote.
I don't think I even wrote a note on Reese. I might have said one thing. So everybody comes over, rushes over. Kay is more than happy to explain what happened. We came in, we found Charity beating Tabitha's ass.
Oh yeah, and did you not catch what Reese said? He's like, if you give me 10 more minutes, I would have joined her.
I didn't hear that. Ugh.
Yeah, Reese did say that.
That's not what he said. He said, I've been gone. I leave for 10 minutes and all hell breaks loose. That's what he said.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah, he said he was making a joke. I leave for 10 minutes and all hell breaks loose. He didn't. It sounded a little like that, but he said all hell breaks loose. He didn't.
Sometimes the sound on the videos is so bad. Yeah, you don't know what is being said.
Maria was about to beat Ross's ass, and I was gonna join because
that's what I thought I heard. But
the audio.
I did too, and I had to rewind it, and because I rewound it and took it off 1.75 speed and really like slowed it down. I heard what he said, and that's why I typed it, because I heard I leave for 10 minutes and all hell breaks loose.
I thought he wanted to join in.
Tabitha did put Ross in front of her when Norma was about to tap him.
Hilarious. One of my favorite moments of the whole show.
Truly.
You'll have to get through Ross to get to me.
Yes, I love that so much. It was so funny. Okay, so anyway, these people, Tabitha, she's knocked out, and meanwhile, Kay is pretty happy because she's like, okay, this is great. Everybody's gonna see that this fake Charity is evil, and Miguel will break up with her, and everybody will see the truth, basically. I immediately knew that there was a way for this zombie to get out of this. Like, it was so obvious to me. We're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit because we do a lot of back and forth of like Kay telling the zombie, "You're done for now. Nobody's gonna believe you." Da da da, and the zombie being like, "Well, you're gonna go down because everybody's gonna find out that you created me." Fine. Moving on. Tabitha starts to come to, and instead of them taking this elderly woman to a hospital, this elderly woman who fell down the stairs and ostensibly has been beaten, instead of them taking her to the hospital, they just wake her up and start like bombarding her with questions about Charity. Like, Charity didn't really do that, did she? Like, okay, please take her to a hospital, because even if she does answer the questions,
says, you'll be fine.
It might not even be right, because she might be concussed. She doesn't know what has
she
happened.
Complains about a headache. She says, "I have a headache." Like, she fell downstairs. She's old. She's obviously had some trauma to the face, and she has a headache. And she's like, and she says with confidence, "You'll be fine."
Yeah, because she has a heartbeat. Like, literally, Eve's examination was she's been slapped. I see markings on her face, and she has a heartbeat. She'll be fine. Like that.
Eve was like, "Listen, people fall down the stairs in Harmony all the time, and they're fine.
And they're fine. They're fine. Everything here is fine. Everything's on fire." So yeah, when she starts to come to, before she wakes all the way up, she's like mumbling about a zombie. The zombie is trying to kill me, right? She's like mumbling something about zombie and Timmy and the zombie trying to kill her. And that's when Reese is like, "Why is she saying something about zombies? I told you she was a witch. I told you she was a witch." It's like, what do zombies and witches have to, like, that's not, I don't know. There's no real, I guess you can make the leap.
No.
It's supernatural thing.
It's a dream, Reese. It's a dream.
She's concussed. Like, she fell down the stairs. And so when Tabitha finally wakes up, they question her about what happened to her. And the zombie just speaks for Tabitha. Zombie Charity just speaks for Tabitha, saying, "Oh, remember, Tabitha, you were running to answer the phone and you were running too fast and you tripped down the stairs because you thought that maybe Timmy, Timmy, that one you love so much." So she does this thing where she's saying what she wants Tabitha to agree to, but she's also threatening Timmy without anybody else realizing that's what's going on, right? Yeah. And she's like, "Isn't that right, Tabitha? We wouldn't want anything bad to happen to Timmy ever. So isn't that what happened?" And so Tabitha agrees. "Yeah, I fell down the stairs." And the zombie says she had hit her to try to bring her to. It's like, if someone falls down the stairs, you start punching them in the head. Doesn't make sense. But Grace is like, "See, I knew it. I knew that there was an explanation."
Interesting. She also doesn't believe Kay at first, as Kay says exactly what happens, and Grace gives her no grace, right? So her first instant, she goes, "Kay, you must be mistaken." And then Miguel says the exact same thing, and now everyone believes her. It's so gross.
Yeah, Grace sucks. We're really on the Grace hate train these days.
Sam would have believed her and took a police report.
Yeah, right. Because she's his first his first stop on every investigation. What does Kay know about this? Does she know who killed Julian? She didn't see anything. Then there was no murder. What Nothing, murder? Yeah. What?
Case closed. Case closed.
Case closed.
Just gonna close the case.
So anyway, Reese does bring up the fact that Tabitha was muttering about a zombie. He's like, "What was that all about? If you are not a witch, why were you talking about zombies?" And then the zombie Charity also answers that question, saying, "Oh, Tabitha had just asked me." Was just making sure there would be no drinking at my party tonight, which of course there won't be, because she was telling me about this time when a guy gave her a drink called a zombie, and she felt like it almost killed her because she had such a bad hangover the next day. I mean, it was good. It was a good like cover story for good. Like, why are you talking about zombies?
And also true, zombies can almost kill you, those drinks.
I've never even had a zombie. I've never even heard of a zombie as a drink.
We should make one, and then we'll have it at the watch party.
Yes.
I should for the next watch party. Y'all have to tell me what it is, and then I can put like the ingredients.
Delicious.
I bet you somebody's made a zombie drink somewhere already.
Oh yeah.
What do y'all know what's in it?
Not off the top.
I think like everything.
They're so good. They're like sweet, right?
Yeah. They're sweet, yeah, and it has like a lot of different alcohols, so
it's like
it
Mai Tai.
really mess you up quickly.
Recipe.
It's like in the family.
Here we go.
Okay.
Jamaican rum, Puerto Rican gold rum, lime juice, Don's mix, grenadine. Yeah, there's steps in here.
It's too much. It's too much. I will not be buying that much alcohol. I if it's not tequila that I already have, I don't know if I can do it.
Tiki cocktail mix, basically.
Because I don't drink enough to buy like bottles beyond the ones I have in here already.
Oh, Applebee's Dollar Zombie for October comes back.
Oh,
there you go.
Applebee's not far from my apartment. Maybe I'll just go.
There you go.
Maybe I'll just get a to-go zombie.
Applebee's Dollar Zombie is back.
Dollar Zombie. Ooh.
$1.
I might have to go get me a dollar zombie.
No one. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Moving on. So that answers all those questions. Everybody heads back over to the party, over to the Bennetts. Miguel makes up with Charity. Is like, can you forgive me for assuming you murdered Tabitha? And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. I'm just, as long as we still get to have sex tonight.
Right. Oh, my God.
Nothing puts you in the mood like senior citizen homicide.
Yeah. So then they all go over to the party. We get like costume changes for Tabitha and Charity and a couple of other people.
Can I say this party looks like it was set for a child's birthday party, like with helium balloons that are like multicolored. Like it looks like a child's birthday party, but it's like midnight. It's so weird.
Why is it so dark? I didn't understand why it was so dark.
So dark, but also like there's balloons and like this stuff that you would expect for like a 7-year-old or a 6-year-old. It's such a bizarre dichotomy. I don't.
Yeah, it was. I mean, whatever. It was a bad party, but who expects a good party at Grace's house? Not me,
right?
Not me. I feel like that's going to be the most lame. Apparently, Chad is supposed to be DJing this party. Haven't seen him.
No.
There is no music at this party. This party sucks. But anyway, everybody's at the party. Then Zombie Charity like strikes a deal with Tabitha saying, you follow my directions at this party tonight, and I will back off of Timmy, basically. Yep. And Tabitha's like, fine, I agree to the terms, which is what Tabitha had told her like weeks ago.
Correct.
Weeks ago, Tabitha was like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll help you carry out whatever plan. Just leave Timmy alone. I don't know why it took us so long to get there, but maybe zombies.
Maybe because Tabitha showed that she's not just gonna sit there and take it. Like maybe she's like, you know what? I don't need to deal with the Poon Zombie, whatever I said last time. She's speaking with that and thinking with that instead of logically, which is I need to destroy Timmy. So I think she's like, you know what? I won't deal with them. I need her help. Probably.
Yeah. So, Tabitha takes her up on the offer. We get some back and forth between Kay and the zombie, which is the same old for the most part. The most important thing that you need to know about what happened between them this week is that Kay tells the zombie she's gonna tell Miguel the truth. Basically, consequences be damned. It's more important to save Miguel's life. And so the zombie then threatens Grace's life. She says to Kay, well, if you tell him, I'm going to kill your mother. And Kay, who loves her mother, is upset by this, rightfully so, understandably so. But she's like, I don't believe you, basically. She's like, no, I'm going to go tell the truth, basically. Then Zombie Charity makes a voodoo doll of Grace, and it's basically my Timmy doll.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's 100% what it was. At the very beginning when I first saw it, I thought she turned Grace into the doll, and I was like, oh, that's dark. Like but I liked it. You know what? I was like, oh no, that's fucked up. Like I thought she turned Grace into the little doll, and was going to like start hurting that doll, but it turns out it was just a doll with like a printed, like
literally a piece of paper
face on it, like looked like an astronaut, just like taped onto like a little. It was so bad.
Taped onto a little teddy bear, like my Timmy.
Your teddy bear looks better than what they did.
It was literally like
a
piece of paper with Grace's face on it.
They have a budget and resources. Like,
they blew it on
you did way better.
They blew it on all the animals and the stunt double, right?
So stunt double, They
wasted all their money.
She gets this doll. She makes this doll. And she starts stabbing it immediately. I thought it was going to take some time, but no. She stabs it in the neck like a bunch of times. And of course, Grace is doubled over in pain. She's like, oh my God. Ow. Ow. She's screaming out in agony.
Dana did a good job here.
Yes.
I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, absolute agony. And then zombie Charity stabs it in the stomach. And I think she just has like a pin. It's not like she's stabbing it with a knife, but still.
It looked like a nail file or something. I don't know.
But she's stabbing it, and then she stabs it in the stomach. Grace falls over and doubles over in pain. And then she puts the pin to like where Grace's heart would be. And she basically is holding her hostage in front of Kay and is like, what's it going to be, Kay? Miguel or your mom? Do you want your mom to die? She's going to die right now, basically.
Yeah.
And Charity, also at some point, Father Lonigan showed up.
I was going to say,
everybody. Who invited him? Why is he at Charity's birthday party?
I promise you this. You go to, if you were going to make a birthday party and you told me Father Lonigan was going to show up, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Because shit's going down?
Yeah, I think so.
He should be at the police station confessing what Theresa had just told him.
He cannot.
That's what I was wondering.
He can't.
No, this is exactly my issue. This is exactly my fucking issue with Father Lonigan. Okay.
He cannot.
I don't know.
He cannot.
What do you mean he cannot?
But it was a crime, and he says that he cannot keep that a secret. He has to confess because it's a crime.
Let me hear what you have to say, Eric, because Father Lonigan himself was going to go to the police last week. And
that's not how I think confession and absolution works.
Episodes, Eric, it's a murder. If in fact, let me tell you something. The laws of this country are not built upon the laws of the Bible.
I can't even Google this. If I Google this, what does this do to my FBI investigator who's watching my shit?
Here's the thing. If the police find out that Father Lonigan actually knew who murdered Julian and he didn't say anything, the Vatican's not going to fucking save him. They can't save him. Right? Like that's obstruction of justice. He broke a law. And I'm pretty sure, like, and here's the thing. The priests and these people of the cloth have a duty to are mandated to report abuse and things like that, mandated by the law. So I'm sorry, but the cross doesn't hold up here. I know Jesus paid it all, but I just think you still.
I'm doing it for myself. You can say whatever you want to.
So I want to go back to what Maria's saying. Yes, what the fuck is he doing at an 18-year-old girl's birthday party after he just found out that Ethan murdered someone and that Theresa is planning to either take the blame on herself or not tell anyone about it and let it be. No, he's not supposed to be here. It didn't make any sense. And they didn't explain why he was there. I assumed that he sensed evil because that's the thing he said once he said something. But it was like he had already been there.
I think he got there earlier.
Did you see him arrive? I didn't see him arrive.
I did see him get there. Yes.
Yeah, he did just like show up, and that's what I'm like. Why is he should be chasing Theresa around, trying to tell someone. Through
the cape is basically he just like appeared out of nowhere. He was just like,
I can't stand this priest. He gets on my nerves.
I am seeing conflicting results in my search engine, but
I see that he can't share it. The code is inviolable.
It's in violation.
In violation of what?
Inviolable. And if he does, it's an automatic excommunication. So,
okay, so
he has the choice. He would have
what does the law say? Again, whatever the Vatican says is not the law of the United States.
But
That's my point.
I think it like supersedes it.
No, it can't possibly.
I think, but like,
if the law of the Vatican supersedes, listen, if the law of the Vatican supersedes the U.S. national states laws of our federal country, then that means that all those priests that did all that stuff to those kids could just get away with it.
But the whole point is like people think that God is more important than the law. Like
I'm not saying that the law is more.
People, I'm not saying what people.
That I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure.
What legally? What is he supposed to do? Legally, if you know that somebody has murdered someone, you have to tell them. You have to tell the police.
Okay, I guess maybe to play a little bit of devil's advocate, she is confessing about someone else doing a murder.
Therefore,
so
it's hearsay.
Really that so maybe because it's hearsay.
We could phone somebody. We could phone someone.
I don't have her number. I don't have Karen's number. Otherwise, I would.
By the way, Eric, your special guest appearance is the best thing in the whole world, and we need to keep doing that all the time. That was the best. I love it.
I love a fun cameo.
That was funny.
Anyway, again, we've spent so much time on this already.
I have a deacon I can call.
Please don't. Please do not.
She goes, no, you don't.
I really do have a deacon I can call.
Please do not.
Yeah. The only pass I've given is that it was hearsay.
I do actually, now that I think about it. Anyway.
With that said, I want to say Tabitha made me laugh really hard because he is sensing evil. Grace has some kind of premonition or like his scary feeling, and he says something about there's some evil here, to which Tabitha says, "Father, see no evil, for once doesn't see me."
Yes.
Just like, because there's more evil lurking, right? Like there's an evil bigger than Tabitha there.
Yeah.
And again, she doesn't have her powers, and maybe that's what he was sensing before. Although he used to sense her after she lost her powers. So anyway, Father Lonikin's there. He senses evil. So then when Grace starts having these horrible pains and everybody's so concerned, he's like, "It's the evil. It's the evil. I told you there's great evil here." And then that's basically where we ended this week, right? Because
of all the times that
what's it gonna be, Miguel or Mama? Does Mama live or does Mama die? Is what she
to which Tabitha says, "It looks like she may have baked her last tomato soup cake."
There were so many tomato soup cake references in this week. I was tempted to go back and watch and count, but I didn't want to, so I didn't. But it was
tomato soup cake counter. Ding.
It was a lot, right? Yeah, 100%. Another candle on another tomato on top.
Yeah.
And for there to be a time for Eve to give someone a sedative, now would be a good time for Grace. She kind of needs a painkiller.
Yeah, she needs something. So that's it for Magic. And we're moving on to Theresa, Ethan, Gwen. We did that for so long.
We did.
I did also want to say, is anyone else watching Agatha All Along?
I haven't started it yet.
I haven't started it yet.
So Eye of Newt is revealed to actually just be mustard seed. So
Listen, Tabitha. I'm sorry, but look at me. But Patti LuPone is in it, so of course I know.
That's why I want to watch it. Also, that WandaVision was like the only MCU show I actually did watch because it has gotten so.
This is so campy. This is campy. It's queer. It's got all of it going for itself, and it's really fun.
It's fun.
It looks
making some people really mad, but that kind of just makes me want to watch it more.
Yep.
Okay.
Give me a second. My mom's calling me.
Also, can we trash talk
Hey, Mama.
Kay's dress? I hated Kay's dress so much.
What's fine? Yeah, I was shocked that Charity looked as good as she did. And
Charity looked amazing.
Yeah, really.
Like it was like a slight side part and like the earrings and like the ruffles on the shoulder and then that drapey thing. Charity looked amazing, and Kay looked like she had blood stains all over her dress.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good dress.
It was not a great dress, but she's a pretty girl. I don't know why they do that to her.
I know we took long on that one, but that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I loved it.
I started getting heated. I'm sorry, y'all. I was just like,
no, and I wasn't saying anything other than like, I'm sure there are cases about this. There's got to be stuff.
Oh, there's definitely going to be cases. Because I'm sure there's always a conflict. Because there's also the separation of church and state.
And I was just explaining that side of it. I don't know the law side of it.
Which is why laws, like that's the point of the law, is like it can't, it's not supposed to take into account any kind of religiosity at all.
Yeah, think about like cults, right? Like they're under religious like things. They're saying that this is religious to them, but bigamy and all these other things are still crimes. I mean, like, I just don't know when about what's like a psychiatrist, right? Like, do they have to go report something if something happens?
Yes, they do. They do.
Can a priest be charged with obstruction of justice if he refuses to break his code of silence about confidentiality in a murder investigation? In the USA, no. There are 4 people that cannot be compelled to testify against you: your spouse, your lawyer, your doctor, your priest. They can if they want to, but they will then receive punishment from their organizations. It is called spousal privilege, attorney-client privilege, etc. So they absolutely do not have to. So, I mean, they should have to. We know they should.
I will stand corrected. I think it's okay.
No, but they should have to.
Yeah.
Dear Karen, I hope this email finds you well.
His whole thing with Theresa, his whole thing with every fucking body's like, you have to tell the truth.
Right, exactly.
That's the other thing too.
But whatever. Anyway, let's talk about Ethan, Theresa, Gwen.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all can even hear this.
Yep.
All right.
Music cue.
I'm gonna have to find a better one because I think it's a little airy, but that's okay. It's good for today. So, okay, y'all, let's talk about what's going on with these people over here. We start this week where Rebecca and Ivy are talking about this tape that remember that Rebecca had fabricated, where it shows Ethan shooting the gun and killing Julian, right? We learned that there are 2 tapes. There's the VHS tape that Theresa has, and there's also the tape like that came out of whatever recorder, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. The little one that Rebecca has. Rebecca is like, Ivy's worried somebody might find the tapes or whatever. And Rebecca's like, how could they? There's only 2 tapes, and Theresa has one, and I have the other one. She goes digging in her bag, can't find it, lost it. But it's all a gag because eventually she finds it. Whitney, meanwhile, finds Theresa at the church and tells her about Charity's vision, because remember, Charity had a vision that someone would be arrested tonight for Julian's murder. So this upsets Theresa greatly. And remember last week she had that whole conversation with Father Lonigan where he told her she needs to tell the truth, and she told him, fuck you, bro. And, and so she gets upset, very upset. Reminder, the only information she has at this point is that Charity had a vision that someone would be arrested for Julian's murder tonight. Not that Ethan would be arrested.
Correct.
Just someone. She panics, runs to the police station. She stands outside the police station, watching them, getting ready, getting all geared up to go out into the night to what she believes is to make an arrest. But what's actually going on inside the police station, if she had just gone inside and asked one simple question, who are y'all arresting? Right? Like, what do you know? We could avoid the next 4 or 5 months of the agony we are all about to endure.
Correct.
But she did not do that. She saw them in there and she runs in and tells them, I know you're about to go arrest someone, because she thinks it's Ethan. And she rushes into the station, unhinged, screaming, no, You can't do this. Sam, Luis, and some other random cop that they've like enlisted are utterly baffled by what, like, truly are looking at her like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And Sam and Luis are like, Theresa, do you know something about the murder? Tell us what you know. They badger her a little bit until she finally exclaims, "It was me! I killed Julian!" Oh my God, Theresa, you dumb girl. What are you like, literally, you don't have to, even if Ethan did do this, right? You don't have to go down for this. You have the money and the power of the Cranes behind you now. Make it go away. Make it go away.
Or if you're going to fall on the sword, wait until he's actually in trouble to do it. Like, it's really clear when she's in there defending him and like interrupting them, but they're like, do you know anything? Do you have to tell us? Do you know anything? It's clear they don't know who did it. At that point, she should have been like, you know what? Never mind. Sorry.
Exactly.
Like, she should have been like, oh, you don't know who did it? Okay. Like,
she's so annoying.
It's so
God. It's so,
and it's extra annoying because she's at an 11 the whole time.
The whole
time. It's like impressive and irritating beyond.
The whole time?
Yeah. The whole time.
So, and let's not forget that the cops were about to be extremely aggressive because they're like nothing like intimidation to get the answers out of these people. Like,
they're gonna beat somebody's ass into confession.
Yeah, they were getting geared up to go out and do some police brutality, some good old fashioned police brutality, and
that's what it felt like,
and force a confession under duress. Like, that's what they were about to go do, and Theresa just came in and ruined all their fun. They're good.
Yeah, basically.
They're good, clean fun.
Also, I want to point out that at the top of the episode, Sam was upset. He was like, Luis, Charity had another premonition. And like, he's like, this is like a man of the law. He's like, my niece had another premonition that I was going to have to arrest. There'd be an arrest for Julian Crane's murder. And it'd be someone close to me. Bitch, everyone on the murder board is like, there's 20 people in Harmony, and like, all know each other. Of course it's someone, you know everyone in this town.
You're related to one of them. Ethan's on that board.
You already knew that before the premonition. Like, if anything, you'd be like, okay, cool, it's going to get solved tonight. Let's just do nothing and see what happens.
Or how about the disingenuous, Luis, I'm giving you a chance to get off this case. Luis shouldn't be on this case.
No one should be on this case.
Because half the people on there is his own family member.
No one should be on this.
And himself.
Sam shouldn't be on the case. It literally, have you ever seen, was it Making a Murderer? The documentary, Making a Murderer, whatever.
Yes.
A lot of people watched it. There was like this whole thing during that, when I was watching that show about that particular police force, how they should not have been working that case, and what should have happened is they should have brought in a different police force altogether to work the case, and that's exactly what this is too. This particular precinct and this force should not even be investigating this case. Everybody, literally, Sam even has like a motive, right? Like, if you want to think about it, to kill Julian. So, and he has said on multiple occasions, the chief of police, how much he hates Julian and the Cranes. They have no business investigating this case. None of them, including Sam. Like, Luis is extremely egregious, but so is Sam, because his son is on that board. Yeah. Right? Like, and Ivy's on that board. And like, it's just absolute such a travesty, a miscarriage of justice. The whole thing.
100%.
Just call Castleton. Call Castleton. Get the Castleton.
Call Castleton. The Castleton police force. They're supposed to be doing this. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it's not up to the individual officer to decide to get himself off the case. The chief of police could say, you're off this case.
Correct.
That's Sam. It's literally Sam's job.
Oh my God.
You're
the one wearing the tie, Sam. So you have
you're wearing the tie.
You're the one you're the only cop in a tie, so that means you get to make the tough choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and did you catch the part where Luis is like, "Oh, Theresa would totally take the rap for me if she thought I was the one that killed Julian," and it's like, no, she wouldn't.
We're about to talk about it all because he legitimately thinks that he killed Julian. So, but we're not there yet. So Sam and Luis are both shocked at this confession. Of course, it is shocking. They're truly baffled, to be honest. Sam tells her, "You should get a lawyer."
Yeah.
When she has a lawyer, bitch, call Woody.
Call
if
Woody.
You don't call Woody.
Call Woody right now.
Yes.
And that's the thing about, again, one of the things about what's going on with Theresa and what will continue to go on with Theresa that irritates me is like, it's like she wants to martyr herself so fucking bad, and she doesn't have to. She does not have to. It's unnecessary.
It's so funny because
martyrdom.
With the trust and love that she believes that she has with Ethan, she really could go to Ethan and be like, "Look, I saw this. Is this true?" She totally could do that, but she does not.
She doesn't trust him.
There it is. I was about to say that what Maria just said. There's no trust for her with Ethan. She doesn't trust. She thinks he murdered Julian. Like he's a murderer.
That's also true.
Here's what I can't get over. She thinks that he murdered Julian, right? So like, number one, she's like in love with this murderer, but she thinks, but it's honorable because it was like
it was for her.
Right? It was for her.
It was for her.
So, it was for her.
Justified. Like, and I want to also say they're all justifying murder throughout the whole thing.
Sure, the whole time. But
there is a quote from One Day at a Time where Rita Moreno's character says, "There is no excuse for violence unless it's to protect a woman or to love somebody, to show love," and it's not a correct thing, but it is some people's way of thinking.
You can excuse it.
Yeah. That.
She thinks that Ethan committed this murder and is going to watch her take the blame for it and stay silent, which like really goes against how honorable we're trying to paint Ethan as the picture. So like the whole time, at no point Ethan's like, "Theresa, I did this." Like if Ethan was the man that she says that he is, he'd be like, "Bitch, no, I did this. What are you doing?" But no. So like in her head, he knows that he's guilty and he's letting her, his pregnant ex-girlfriend, go down for this murder, and she's okay with it, which really is like conflicts in my head.
It's a mind fuck.
That really didn't work.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I didn't ever think this deep about this show while I was watching it. I was like,
no.
No, I didn't.
Having the time of my life, not thinking about the fact that Lisa just brought up these incredible like plot holes.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of thought about it, and I was like, "This is the stupidest bitch on this show. This is why I don't like her."
Because you're gathering
one of the many reasons.
You're gathering your fruit for the Theresa poison.
This week, watching her this week, I was like, I get it. I get the Theresa hate. Like I really did. I really was, because I was so frustrated. I've been frustrated with her for a little while, but like for a couple of weeks. But this really turned it for me this week. So, they're trying to get her to recant, basically, like saying, "Oh, it's the pregnancy hormones. It's, surely she's just crazy because she's a woman and she's having a baby. So she's not thinking right." And she doubles, triples, quadruples down to the point that Sam says, like, "My hands are tied. I got to arrest her." And Luis flies off the handle. He's like, "You've known my sister all her life. There's no way she could have done this. She didn't do this. She didn't kill somebody. She never would have done this." He turns in his badge. He turns in his gun. He's like, "If you want me off this case, then I'm off the case, but I'm also off the force." Sam tries to talk him out of that. So now he's like trying to talk both Lopez Fitzgeralds down.
Going on,
right? Like he's dealing with like both of these fucking lunatics at this point, because Luis, and I understand where Luis is coming from. Like, he knows his sister. He knows she didn't do this because she has told him multiple times that she didn't do it. And I think he just he says later on, he's like, "Why wouldn't she have told me months ago?" right?
Right.
Like,
That was a good point.
Wouldn't she have come out months ago? So for him, it's just not adding up, right? And so he's like terrified that she's gonna go down for murder because she doesn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation she's in, but he does, right? He's like, this is a death penalty case. Whoever we catch for this, the governor is calling us about this.
Right.
This is a death penalty case. It doesn't matter who it is who did it. They're going down all the way down. He knows that.
Yeah.
Like there won't be any leniency in this case. And so he's terrified that his sister's gonna die. Terrified. I get it. So the passions are running high, if you will. But Theresa stands firm. She's like, no, it was me. I killed him. Let me make my statement. They book this girl. They take her mugshot. Even though Luis like tenders his resignation, I guess he's still there. So I guess he's still a cop. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Sam just ignored that. Like,
yeah.
Like, you didn't say that.
And didn't he try to confess and say, no, it was me, it wasn't her?
Yeah. We're getting there. So he tries to confess, saying like, I did this.
I did it.
I killed Julian because because of all the things, right? Martin's disappearance, and he tried to break up me and Sheridan so many times, and he did horrible things. He treated Sheridan terribly, and I loved Sheridan, but the final straw was what he did to my sister. I mean, he set up such good motives for himself, and I was like, yeah, maybe Luis did do it.
He did a very good job.
Like they actually remembered what happened on their own show.
Yeah. For once. They remembered all the things. And so actually, I skipped ahead a little bit because there's some Rebecca and Ivy stuff.
I was about to say, that's my bread and butter for this section.
There's some Rebecca and Ivy stuff that happens. Rebecca and Ivy are at the police station as well, but they're outside while Theresa's inside, and they're just kind of like listening in, seeing how things are going. Hopefully things are going their way, right?
They're so good.
Yeah. They do eventually go inside the police station, and they play innocent, saying, saying, we're just here to see how the investigation is going.
Sam's an idiot.
Yeah, well, Sam says, I know what's going on, and I know that the two of you are involved, so cut the innocent act. Yeah. And they're like, what, us? And the thing that he thinks they're involved in is the fact that Ivy called the governor, which she did, right? Like, it's not a secret.
Great detective work, Sam. Good
job. And he tells them, you need to leave police business to the police.
Oh my God.
Well, y'all don't do a very good job. It's been months since Julian's disappearance. And there's no body. Correct. No body, no murder, in my opinion. What murder?
All we got is tuna.
All we've got is tuna.
And jewelry.
And a ring.
Jewelry, yeah.
A ring and some tuna. I mean, and a jacket. There's no body, no murder. I don't know. Was there even blood at the scene? That's the thing. I haven't even seen any forensic evidence that Julian even got shot. I mean,
no body, no problem.
No one is saying it, which is crazy.
Yeah. So whatever. Again, Theresa has confessed to a murder that didn't even happen, basically. Like that we have no evidence that even happened. There's no evidence that the murder even really happened, but whatever. Rebecca and Ivy come in, play innocent. Rebecca kind of pries into, well, why is Theresa here? What's Theresa doing here? So you want to take that, Eric, and talk about...
I love her so much. I mean, we have a lot of bits at the beginning. Stuff happened over there at the house, but it really is just Rebecca just trying to plant seeds, more and more seeds to like get Theresa convicted, or just to make sure she lies on the sword, which is what her plan has been.
Yeah.
I don't know when we want to have conversations about what they said outside the police station versus what they've said in the mansion, but they say a lot more stuff in the mansion.
Yeah, they say.
I got some good lines.
I basically broke my notes up into police station, mansion, and then back to the police station.
So they were eavesdropping. They were just doing their typical thing, and more again. We're gonna get this volley back and forth between the two of them, being like, "My plan is amazing. Stop worrying, Ivy," and Ivy being like, What if there's a hole in this plan somewhere and we're not seeing it? Ethan, because it can implicate Ethan so badly. I mean, yeah. So that's all they're doing outside. When they get inside, they're poking the bear, and then that's pretty much it.
I can't believe that everyone's so confident that there's only 2 copies of this tape. Because if I were charged to make a copy of this tape, like that was my job, I 100% would have made a copy of the original and a copy of the extra and kept it for myself, just in case. You never know. Like
I've got one for myself, and I've got the original. I know exactly what's on that.
I know exactly what's on that tape. I would. So it's crazy that Theresa, who knows nothing, including who sent it to her, assumes that she has the only copy. Like, why wouldn't she assume that it's floating out there?
I guess because that guy said that was actually he no. He's told her don't even think that's the only copy either. So that's another reason why it doesn't make any sense for her to just go to the police station and confess outright.
That's the only copy. Like, what happens if in 2 weeks that tape comes out?
Exactly.
He's gonna look so stupid.
Yeah. So anyway. And maybe she was kind of banking on that. Maybe she was banking on like Ethan will see that I did this for him once the tape comes out. I don't know, but
then he's on death row. Like it's like a Romeo and Juliet. So either Theresa dies or then Ethan dies. The point, like they're still not going to get together because of this martyrdom that's happening.
I don't.
Also, she gives her statement in an interview, and I am pretty sure that a statement is always written down. I
think you have to write it down.
You have to write it down, and maybe even more than one, but like you have to,
because you have to sign it.
You have to sign it, correct? And then you can like be interviewed about it over and over and over again, and then that's when the inconsistencies come out. But she doesn't. When they walked down and he took something out, I was like, all right, he's going to give her something to write it down. No,
it's a tape recorder.
It's an interview. Like he's interviewing her, and with other people walking around. It's not even like going into like an interrogation room.
They do a podcast right there in the middle of the station. And let's talk about
do a podcast.
Rebecca and Ivy are prying into why Theresa's there. Luis defends Theresa because I think Rebecca says something about like, well, no one would blame Theresa if she was the one who killed Julian. Like, he did her so terribly and treated her so poorly, Luis yells at them and is like, get the hell out of here. So does Sam. Basically, he's like, get the hell out. And don't even think about telling anybody that Theresa's here at the police station. I'll charge you with obstruction of justice or whatever. So he kicks them out. They leave, and Rebecca is thrilled, gleeful, and she's like, Theresa is ready to die to protect Ethan. She's thrilled about it. And it's like, Ivy, I don't get Ivy in all of this.
I'm ready. That's what I have written down.
The gold digger, right?
How do you not see that this woman is ready to die for your kid? That's how much she loves him.
How does that not buy her
obsessed
at least
with
a little bit of brownie points or something?
But now Maria said something, and I was thinking about like, what would my mom, like? I think my mom would be like, wow, that's really pretty. But at the same point, it's kind of weird. It's kind of scary. I can see that. But the first thing that would pop in my head is like, she is willing to kill herself, like, be sentenced to life or death for my son.
To save him. Yeah.
But then stop with the gold digger bullshit. Then stop with
the gold digger stuff.
But it was never about the money. It's like, and now for years it was never about the money. It was just until her trying to cling on to that name to try and fix all the Ethan problems that she did, that they're like, see, she wanted the money. But for years before that, she could care less. She wanted Ethan to be living at the burned down house before it was burnt down. So, I mean.
Yeah, she was perfectly happy to have him sleeping on her pull-out couch.
Yeah. She was just teaching him how to be poor. Yeah. Remember there were a couple episodes where she was
right.
Yeah. So the Ivy of it all annoys me a little bit with the fact that seeing this girl go down for your son. But you know what? Ivy's drugged out of her mind.
Yes. I was gonna say this is what makes me sad about that we don't see somebody like Ivy's father in the series, because then maybe at some point it puts a parallel between the two of them. That she is keeping her person away from, like, there would just be something interesting there if you were able to put in another generation in that storyline.
I would have loved to watch Ivy and her parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I would have loved that. What an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And
that would
then
have been interesting to see.
And then you'd feel a little sympathy for her because you'd like probably start to see like, oh, like
especially
like in Monster-in-Law when Jane Fonda and Elaine Stritch, I think is when she comes. I think that's who it is. When all of a sudden they're like, oh, your mom was mean to you. That's why you're mean to poor Jennifer Lopez.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's the cycle of mother-in-laws. But this whole thing at the police station, there's a lot of back and forth between Luis and Theresa. Luis trying to talk sense to Theresa. Sam also at one point kind of gives her an out before he takes her, finally says, I have to arrest her. Saying like, is this because of the pregnancy? That, like, they bring that up a few times. This is the final time where she gets offended, to be honest. And I was like, yeah, you should be offended and I'm offended. Just because you're pregnant, just because I'm pregnant, you think I would confess to a murder? Yeah. You think the hormones are that bad that my brain is so addled that I would confess to a murder just because I'm pregnant? Like, women are pregnant all the time and they don't confess to murders they didn't commit. Anyway.
Yeah.
But if it is the hormones, then asking her wouldn't even be an efficient way to find out if it is the hormones, because that means she's not in the right state of mind to self-assess.
Yeah, even if it is, you have to call Eve. You have to call Eve.
Call a doctor to have her evaluated. Like, don't.
Yes.
It's like they okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And then what would Eve say when she got there?
She'd say, honey,
what would she play?
Wait. I don't know where it is.
You want a sedative or something to quiet your nerves?
That will never not be funny.
It will never not be funny.
It will never not be
shot.
funny.
Yeah. So Theresa does not get a sedative. In fact, it seemed like they gave us some cocaine because things will get crazier and crazier from here.
I mean, I will say, for someone who is confessing to a murder, you're still looking extremely guilty by all the pausing and just waiting and just staring around and the panic. And it's like, girl.
And to me, it wasn't, and maybe it's because I know what's going on, but she didn't seem guilty to me as much as she just seemed unwell. Right? Like, she just seemed, unwell. Like, something is wrong, and it's not what you're saying. She seemed like, you know how you see, you know how somebody gets on the train, like on the subway, and they're like talking to themselves, and it's like, they don't seem like they will be a danger to you, but you also need to make sure you keep an eye on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're just unwell. That's what Theresa seems like right now to me. Yeah.
And she's clutching her purse. Do you not realize that when you get arrested, they take your belongings? They're gonna find the tape.
That's what I was wondering too. I was like, so, okay. Eventually Theresa gets arrested. What happened to the tape?
Right.
She had the tape on her. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to the tape. The tape literally says Ethan and Julian.
Oh my God, does it? I didn't notice.
It has a label on it. That's why Ethan put it in the VCR in the first place, because it had his name on it. So
maybe it was
I was going to say, for the younger generations, a VHS is a tape that we used to use in a VHS player, which it was like a tape deck. So you used to...
Let me tell you, the demographic of this podcast, everybody knows what a VCR and a VHS is.
And I was just going to say to another demographic of this podcast, what if it said Ethan and Julian, but it was still a sex tape where Julian and Rebecca were role-playing as those characters?
Oh my God.
Oh God. Why would you even say that?
Oh God.
It had to be said.
Straight face, and he's like, it had to be said. My God.
It had to be said.
Where's the...
And you take...
Yeah.
I should have got some bow.
Scary music.
That was scary. No, I just... Scary. Listen, I ain't gonna put anything past Rebecca. We haven't even heard about all of Rebecca's sexual proclivities yet.
Yeah. Oh, and Rebecca had some really good lines in the match and before they even left. to go to the police station. One was Rebecca saying, one thing you need to worry about is your butt getting bigger in that chair.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Theresa confesses to this murder. She says it's not the pregnancy. She confesses. He tries to figure out why she would do this, but they can't figure it out. Meanwhile, now it's time for Maria's time to shine, okay?
No, right before, there's a couple things. Okay. One, Luis calls Whitney because he's like, I need help.
Whitney, he calls later. So here's the thing. I wanna do this portion, go to the mansion, because he calls Whitney after Ethan shows up. Whitney shows up, Ethan's already there. So I want to go to where Ethan is.
Yeah, we'll go to the mansion and then we'll come back to the police.
Yeah, we'll go to the mansion and then we'll come back. Yeah. So let's go to the mansion. And honestly, you can take it from here because it picks up with Gwen.
Yes. Okay. So Ethan is working on the appeals case so hard that he falls asleep. Apparently this is something he always does. So hard. He falls asleep. You see the law books across from him. You hear the music that you played earlier. Gwen comes in with a tray of food because she knows that he'll probably be hungry from working so freaking hard on this appeals case for his mother. She sees that he's sleeping. She walks over to him. And I will say it's a little creepy to talk to sleep people when they're sleeping.
They do it all the time.
But they do it all the time. It's all the time.
I thought Lisa said I do it all the time, and I was like, oh, okay.
All the time.
They do it all the time.
I teach high school students right now, so like I most of the days talking to people that are like not listening, paying attention, or like effectively unconscious.
Yeah.
But
they do it all the time on passion.
They do it all the time.
They do it all the time.
They know someone is sleeping.
It is odd,
and also
they use it as a device.
Yeah.
They use it as a device. So we know what's going on in Gwen's head. So go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So, and she says, poor Ethan. He's working so hard to find a way to overturn this. Your mother is the real Julian Crane and not Theresa. I still can't believe the judge pulled in that favor and said that. But then again, nothing turns out as we planned. Had Theresa not come into our lives, we would have been married by now, possibly even had a baby on the way. But she did come into our lives. Look how she's hurt you. She's lied so many times that you finally had to tell her that you can't marry her. I wonder if we could ever get back to the way we were. And at that point, Ethan kind of feels a little... Ethan like kind of seems to have been aroused by her talking, wakes up.
Still hard.
And goes in for a kiss and kisses her.
Yeah. Yeah, where is my music?
Oh, this right key and everything.
Right? Yay.
Except it's not what? I watched the show.
They finish kissing. He kind of pulls away because he's realizing, oh my God, this is real life. Because you could tell he might have been dreaming. And they were both kind of surprised. He apologizes. She's like, well, I don't mind that you're kissing me. He's like, no, I was dreaming. And Gwen assumes, oh, you must have been dreaming about Theresa. And he's like, no, I was dreaming about us and the way we were before Theresa.
Like the corners of my mind.
Passion's timeline is BT and AT, before Theresa, after Theresa.
After Theresa.
That's really where the series pretty much starts off.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she kind of go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna recap basically what you just said, which is that she comes in, she talks to his unconscious body for a while, and then he wakes up, kisses her, and he thinks she's Theresa, but he's like, no, I was thinking about the way we were before Theresa, and they start like getting it on damn near immediately.
No, there was still some conversation.
There's a little bit of conversation, but it wasn't much.
But it wasn't immediately because they had then gotten up. But like they break the silence, but she's like, oh, look, I brought you food because I know back in law school you used to study. And so they talk a lot about like their past relationship, and you could really see that they know each other. they've known each other for a long time.
Mhm.
They actually go to eat. They finish, and she goes and gets him a brandy.
She watches him eat. They don't eat. She sits
Yeah.
next to him and
Yeah.
stares at him while he eats with a knife and fork off of his silver tray in a weird mother role playing. So it's like she's just watching him eat. He's like,
Mhm.
that was delicious.
Yeah, that is
She
exactly
might have
what
ate
happened.
before he got there.
They didn't.
You know, they did. Okay, they didn't eat. She watches him eat, but she then offers him alcohol. So she's trying to like loosen him up, I think.
I don't think he needed much loosening. Let's be honest.
No.
Nah, it was gonna happen.
No.
It was gonna happen.
And so they have this sweet conversation after about like, I know I've hurt you when we broke up. And she's like, no, I'm fine. As I said, I wanted you to be happy. If it's me, great. If it's with someone else, that's fine too. And he's like, even after everything I put you through, you still care about my happiness? She's like, of course I do.
And Gwen's like, what did I do? I mean, what? I took a baseball bat to your lover's house. Big deal.
I think this is another one of those things that I don't like about Gwen. And it's that she says, you know, if it's with me, great. If it's with, I just want you to be happy. I just want you to be happy. And I think, I get it, but sometimes it feels disingenuous. Like, she's like, no, whatever you want. Because she's waiting, laying in wait. It just feels like she's waiting for her moment, right? Not that
she is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think she's willing to accept it, though, if he would have chosen Theresa.
I'll back up Maria on that. I do think had they gotten married when it was all happening, I think that would have been defeat. And there's been a couple of times where she's told Rebecca, like, I'm done. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm exhausted by this. Mm-hmm. I don't think she ever would give up her torch for Ethan, but she would give up the pursuit.
Okay, I'll accept that because it irritates me. But
oh yeah, no, it's a lot of her egging him on, like, I'm here with you no matter what.
It's the hanging on. But you know what? I have to let it go. It is what it is. It's one of those things.
It's the smarter long game.
They both do it, and like I already said this week, I'm sick of Theresa right now. Like she and we're not on speaking terms. But but that is one of those things about Gwen because it's so pathetic. I think that's what it is.
It is. It's not respectable.
It's just so pathetic that it just makes my skin crawl. You're hanging on to this man who, like, what has never been like firm about you, has never made you feel safe or comfortable since Theresa showed up, right?
And so when you get that 1-star review when this episode comes out, I'm gonna pull this clip and send it to you.
Listen, it is what it is.
Maria already looks like bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, I mean, listen, whatever. It is what it is. Gwen, it's just so pathetic. It's not even. I think it's not even like an issue of her wanting to be with Ethan or like that I want Ethan to be with Theresa. It is truly the characterization of Gwen being so incredibly pathetic that drives me nuts. So moving on.
I don't see it as pathetic. I do see it as this is the guy that she was in love with. Some other girl came, but was completely wrong for him. And it's maybe she's feeling like, yeah, that was wrong and that was fucked up. And hopefully now you got this out of your system. Let's move forward to like who you should have really have been with. Like you're done.
And again,
But that's the thing for me is like
she shouldn't want him.
It's just because I feel so differently. I'm the type of person that once done wrong, there's no coming back. Like something that deep there, you do not respect me. You don't even like me. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, you have to tell all her friends, I'm back together with Ethan. You're like, the guy who dumped you on your engagement party night for
the night before your wedding?
The night before your wedding
for your maid of honor?
And then like tried and like was engaged to her and like
how embarrassing. Like think about how embarrassing it would be have to tell like your friends that you're back together with this man who did this to you, who did you so dirty. I would be so embarrassed. But again, that's not me. That's That's Gwen, but that's why I think of
That's
it as
Gwen.
pathetic. But I can see why you
And
don't.
so,
But at the same time, it's
yeah,
also
yeah, we go. I was gonna
pathetic for a
say,
girl to want to hook up with a guy that had did that to his girlfriend and think that she's better and take him back.
Listen,
Like, let's not forget that this is when they get together, and Teresa's gonna continually follow him into marriage, chasing him.
it all gets very pathetic. I'm sorry. Like
It does.
everybody,
does.
it just all
Yes.
gets very pathetic. And I think again, I haven't watched this stuff in years, but I already feel differently about Theresa than I did back in the day.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like I
To-
already,
yeah.
I didn't go into this thinking that like I would even have much sympathy for Gwen. I did find some for her, but there's not a chance that I'm going to be like, I'm on Gwen's side. I did, however, think from the beginning, there's a chance that I don't remember Theresa the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like going forward, I've already kind of stopped defending Theresa as much as I was defending her because it's just getting so ridiculous. But I do like her better as a character, if that makes sense.
to I was just gonna
how things go going forward. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Eric.
I was just gonna say to Garanch and George Lopez Fitzgerald and Tom Bergeron, as the male perspective here, I'm sorry. I have tried to insert myself in this conversation, and it has been difficult.
Insert away.
Go ahead. You can say
All I
your
was
point
going
of
to
view.
say, no, I just wanted to laugh at the fact that I'm like, man, I have not thought about any of these layers. That's what I was trying to say. I will say, with Lisa, at one point on the podcast, I was like, I felt like mommy and mommy were fighting, and so I'm trying to figure out this new dynamic with the four of us. But I will point out, Latara put out something I think a long time ago that I think would have helped make this storyline more palatable, was if Gwen had had another man in her life.
Yes.
To just have this, like, just to give us something else about her, because she is extremely a beautiful woman. She's got a lot going on for herself, societal, again, despite Rebecca's upbringing, she is trying her best to be good when she can be. There are times where she falters, but so does Theresa. And so I think if that Hank storyline had worked out a little bit better, it would have just made her more valuable to somebody like Ethan, where somebody could take her away from me. But like what Latara's saying, her constantly pining after him, she's just always there, and it doesn't give us enough friction that we want.
He takes her fully and completely for granted.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fully
Agree.
and
And full disclosure, had this been like someone I actually knew in real life, I would be telling her, get the fuck away from this
Right, what are
guy.
you
This
doing?
guy doesn't want you.
He's
Yeah.
bad
But
news.
it's a soap. These are the characters
Also,
they're
she's
giving
in her
us. These are the
20s.
sides.
He's
Yeah.
in her 20s.
She's
And,
in her
Maria,
20s.
He's in her,
Maria,
like,
you-
that's
Theresa?
basically the middle school of adulthood, right?
You know what? You're right. You know what? Actually, and we're running long today. This is just going to be a super long episode, and we're
It's
all
gonna
okay
be
with
super
that.
long.
Lisa, you make an excellent point, because it is a point, and it is a point that has not been made yet, because we constantly talk about how young Theresa is. But these other people are also in their 20s, which when you think about it in the grand scheme of how, like, age-wise, your frontal lobe is, like, their frontal lobe just closed. They're what, 25, 26?
Right.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah.
Listen, Maria wanted a Gwen-focused episode, and we're getting
She's
a Gwen-focused
Yes.
episode.
Yes.
You're finally getting it, girl. I'm happy
getting
for
it.
you, honestly.
I'm telling you. So
I'm glad it
continuing the
worked out
conversation.
like this,
I know, this is perfect.
because
This
it
is
really
perfect.
just worked out.
I'm happy I managed to bring up Norma's father in the Gwen-focused episode.
It's the
Like, look
healthiest
at how...
child relationship in the entire show is Norman. And
Yeah.
Yes.
he's so supportive.
He's such a
He's
good
the best, he's the
father.
best.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's get back into the timeline of what's going on. Ethan and
Yes,
Gwen, they
so
reminisce about their
They're
past
reminiscing.
relationship.
He tells her, you have a wonderful, generous heart, Gwen. And Gwen's like, Ethan, I still care about you so much, and I feel lucky that we are still friends. Ethan says, best of friends. This is this is a callback to a couple podcasts ago where Eric was on, and Latara didn't want to believe that they're best friends. And Ethan is now confirming.
He corroborated. Yes. And I can accept, I can accept it. All I asked was, where are y'all getting this from? There's sources. I said, cite your sources, and nobody could. That's all I'm saying.
I did.
And I did. And I did. No. I did.
Now,
the show was establishing that they were friends.
Okay, yeah, exactly, that they were friends, but I was like, where are we getting the best friends part? But now we've got it. Now you can always cite 727. You can always cite 727. If I say, since when are they best friends? You can be like, 727, check it out.
I'm going to get a tramp stamp on my back.
Yeah.
I already have 227 back there.
227.
Put
They play
727 on the other.
With best friends on this show. They will,
kind of do,
right?
Yeah.
So like Gwen and Sheridan were best friends. They'll just say it when it's convenient to establish that two people are close.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, Gwen and Ethan is saying that they're best friends,
and we're going with it, and we're going,
and we're going. And then she's like, and we will always be. And then he kind of asks, do you remember what I said to you when I had chosen Theresa? And why would you bring that up? But anyway, she's like,
killer.
Not really. I was in a fog, which I could believe because she was in a rage with a bat.
She's like, I wasn't listening to you after you said you were calling off the wedding. I wasn't listening.
Exactly.
She's like, no, I was Liza Huber. What did you tell me?
A different
Yay! Drop the mic.
Lisa, that's the best.
That was good.
Ever. That was good.
Yeah.
Ethan said, I said that if Theresa had not come into our lives, that you and I would have had the perfect marriage, a perfect life together.
Cheating thing to say.
Gwen said, I do remember that you said that and we would be happy, but things change. He's like, yeah, things change. And they've changed again. Theresa is out of our lives and we are still here. Ethan then goes in for a kiss. Ethan and Gwen start to make out on the bed. Ethan says that this feels so right, that he misses her and he needs her. And she asks, could we ever go back? And he says, no, we could only go forward. And to that, I will have to pop my champagne.
Oh!
Got a drink.
Oh!
Tell you something.
Oh.
A man will say anything when he's balls deep in. I'm just saying.
That was pre-balls deep in.
That was
pre-penetration.
In his mind, he was already there. He knew she was gonna bust it open, bust it wide. He knew that he was in there. He knew. Okay, so he just was saying, but okay, I'm gonna
celebration because this is when they get back together.
Celebrate
good times. Come on.
Yeah.
Gwen went in for the Hotchkiss.
Oh,
she went in for the Hotchkiss, yeah. Or
I
Ethan
like
went
that.
in for the Hotchkiss.
I like that.
I said
Ethan went in for the Hotchkiss.
Teresa is entering the slammer while Ethan is entering and slamming Gwen.
Exactly. And they have sex.
Oh, yeah. They really, that happened so fast.
Twice.
This is the closest to Blum Blum we've gotten in a long time.
Oh.
Oh!
Although we do get Sheridan and Brian.
No, let's not.
No.
Stop.
Let's
not ruin the moment.
I just want...
Yes.
I do want to give Maria her dues. This is her moment. To me, this is
the
This
vindication,
is
and this is the start. This is the actual start of the true triangle, because now Gwen and Ethan will be together basically till the end of the show's run. Wow, everyone's quiet. Yeah, I didn't realize.
I just don't remember it that
no.
way.
That's not true. That's not accurate.
Why did it get quiet? We all were like, I don't remember that. I mean, I remember that it's lopsided towards Gwen now. I remember
truthfully,
that.
Truthfully, I don't remember a lot about this show, so it could be true, could not be true. I don't know.
It is true.
I just watched all
together.
2,231 episodes. I just spent the last 4 years watching every single episode. They are together for most of it, but it is not. But they definitely break up. There are separations.
Well, there's the times where she left him.
Yeah, they're not together.
After catching, not together. But basically, like the triangle has started. Like
it's more lopsided towards her favor.
Yes, at this point.
Yes, now is basically Theresa trying to break up Gwen and Ethan again for the rest of the show.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna enjoy my champagne.
No, and for sure, Ethan isn't. At least this is a healthier relationship for Ethan. I think. Like it's a more stable.
She didn't. The only thing that's hanging over her head is the tabloid. Other than that, she didn't.
That I know for the rest of the series.
For the rest of the show. But she didn't use manipulation. She didn't try to trick him. She did hang around pathetically. Yes, Latara. But he came to her on his own volition, not because she played any games or tricks. Or anything.
She brought him food. That would do it for me.
Yeah, she did. You know what I'm going to say, actually?
But
she has done what Theresa did. Made herself available. Again, at the beginning, because y'all always say Theresa manipulated this, she manipulated that. Fine, whatever. I've always been of the mind, the first 300, 400 episodes, Theresa was just really making herself available. She would find herself where Ethan was. And Gwen does the exact same thing. She finds herself where Ethan is because she's always looking for him, right? Go ahead, Eric. What were you going to say?
I'm sorry. I know I really didn't mean to interrupt. I was trying to find my way in. I was just going to say that tabloid thing still is a big deal to me.
It's a huge thing.
It doesn't absolve Gwen of anything. She knows she did that. She knows that this causes all of that.
Yeah. And it is the precipitating event. It is the catalyst for why Theresa went to Bermuda in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? So it
unnecessarily because
and again, Theresa shouldn't have scanned it. But the thing is, here, I don't know why in my head, and even after all these episodes that we have been recapping, I understand why Theresa scanned it. I do. I don't know why, but I get
was going to use it to break them up.
That's not how I remember it.
Motivation.
I remember her.
Originally, we can go all the way back. I don't mind. Originally,
this 8-hour episode of the podcast.
It might be a two-parter. Two-parter.
That would be a look at that.
Yeah,
it's a cliffhanger.
So, originally, going all the way back to the why she scanned it, right? I agree with Maria. She did think about using it to break up Ethan and Gwen because she thought wrongfully, we have established that she was wrong about this, although the show wasn't sure for themselves. The show wasn't sure what Gwen's motivations were, so we weren't sure what Gwen's motivations were at the beginning. Theresa thought that Gwen only wanted Ethan for the Crane name and power and money. So she thought once Ethan found out he wasn't really a Crane, that Gwen would drop him and be done with him. So I agree with Maria that the reason that she kept that letter and scanned it is because she didn't scan it. That's the thing. She scanned it later. So her original thought was, I need to do something with this. Her mama basically told her, no, we're not doing anything with this. The reason she scanned it was because she thought that Ethan had chosen Gwen. She was upset. She didn't know what she was going to do with it, but she was going to do something with it. That's all. She hadn't made up her mind, but it definitely was, I think, for her, a form of protection / revenge / you know, just that is why she scanned it.
That's how I interpreted it.
Established that is why she scanned it. Now,
okay, middle school Eric has another memory of it. So but I agree with y'all are. But I believe you all.
The thing is, she didn't send it, and that's what matters. What was done is what matters, right? So anyway, I'm glad we took a little trip back to.
It's nice to refresh our memories.
I like going back to the old episodes and remembering what happened. So back to where we are now. Ivy and Rebecca return to the mansion, celebrate with champs, just like Maria. They have champagne.
Yeah, champagnes and lemon tarts.
Yeah.
And they're thrilled because Phyllis also tells them when they get back that Gwen and Ethan were up there in their room together and she didn't feel comfortable going in and interrupting them because of the sounds that were coming out of the room.
There was some wind throbbing in there.
So they have
wind throbbing. Yeah.
They have now been informed that Gwen and Ethan seem to be back on track to be getting back together. So they toast their success, and Rebecca says Ethan and Gwen are back together and Theresa's on her way to death row. I don't know. I just love that line for some reason. But Ethan and Gwen walk in right at the tail end of that. So Ivy and Rebecca have a conversation where they implicate themselves, but Ethan doesn't hear any of that. He only hears the part where Theresa confessed to Julian's murder. Upon hearing this news, he does not believe it. He is incredulous. He's like, there's no way. Theresa's not capable of murder. I'm more capable of murder than Theresa, and I couldn't kill anyone in cold blood, is what he says. Rebecca spins this yarn about Theresa and how if anybody's a Black Widow, it's her. The way she slutted it up for Julian down in Bermuda, even though last week she said that Theresa was basically raped. So again, but Rebecca, just like Woody Stomper said, she has the morals of an alley cat. And actually, you know what? That is offensive to alley cats because they're just out here trying to survive, trying to make it through the world. And so Rebecca has no issue going back and forth on what the narrative is to suit what she needs it to suit, right? Around Theresa, as it pertains to Theresa. So Ethan, Gwen, Rebecca spins the version of Theresa. Okay, Gwen.
I know what you're about to say.
I don't even know what I'm about to say. My note just says Gwen tries to comfort Ethan, saying she knows he can't erase his feelings for Theresa overnight.
That's not what I wrote down. I said, Gwen said, I thought my vagina would wash away the memory of Theresa.
She did actually. She basically was like, yeah, I was hoping
I wish.
What we did just now upstairs twice would, make you feel
one time
better,
upside down,
forget all about Theresa. But I know that you can't just forget about your feelings for Theresa and erase your feelings for Theresa overnight. And so Ethan thanks her, and then he posits this idea that, Theresa's been acting kind of weird lately. I thought she was keeping a secret. I wonder if this was the secret she was keeping. Yeah. Rebecca, of course, pipes up like, of course it's the secret she was keeping. Of course she did this. Whatever. Ethan decides Theresa's gonna need a lawyer. And of course, I'm the best in town. So I'm going down there for my girl. Again.
So the guy that she is protecting to confessing to a murder is going to be the lawyer that's going to get you off?
Well, the lawyer that she's had literally adversaries in court with 2 seconds ago is now representing her. Like, that's not a good look. Like,
even Ivy's like, how are you going to even do this?
Exactly. She says you can't represent her, and he's like, well, somebody has to. Well, she's got Woody Stumper.
She has Woody.
Yeah.
Even though I would have loved to see
Woody Stumper.
I would have loved to see him in a murder trial.
He would make her feel like such a sympathetic character. And that's my problem, is that if Ethan was a real one, if Ethan was worth fighting for, then he'd be a good enough friend to call Woody and be like, get your ass down to the police station. Theresa just confessed to a murder. I don't think she did it.
Yeah.
Like, and Woody would even if we pretend that Theresa did it, instead of trying to convince everyone that she didn't, let's just pretend that she did it. Let's get her off. Let's see if we can like chalk it up to like, victimize her. Like even if she murdered him, she would be entitled to a defense.
I would have loved to.
Isn't he head of like the firm now? Because she got him a job at Crane Lawyers.
Did he say yes?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
I would have loved to have seen.
Truthfully, it's only been like a day, so maybe he hasn't started.
I was just gonna say I would have loved to have seen Woody on the stand being like, not only was there a ring in that can of tuna, but there was also a screw in that tuna. And I put the screw in the tuna.
I put the screw in the tuna. No, I just the fact that Ethan goes down to the station saying that he's gonna represent Theresa even though he's actively working on appeal against her. It's like, that's not how that works. That's such a clear
the title of this episode should be a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. Yeah. It's a clear conflict of interest, but whatever. He goes down to the station, goes running down to the station.
It should be 727 when anything get back together. That needs to be the title.
Well, unfortunately,
Hodge kiss and wind throbbing, I think, is the answer.
Oh, Hodge kissing and wind throbbing, yeah.
It's probably gonna be I will not let you hurt my Timmy, to be honest. That's
so misleading.
And Ethan might have said that. I will not let you hurt my Timmy.
I like Tabitha's dad and Charity killed her. That was a good episode title too.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that was this episode. We've been talking so long.
We've been talking forever. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
I can't believe that was this episode.
I have a feeling the audience is going to just eat this
again. I might, depending on how long this turns out to be, I might break it into 2 episodes.
I've never gotten to a point where I'm like, let's wrap this podcast up. I really just listen to it and then I pause it and I come back to it. So like,
I do the same thing.
I love having it there. It's like friends always.
We have a whole week to get through it before another episode, so people can watch at their own leisure.
Yeah. All right.
So
let's wrap this up.
Let's move.
We haven't even gotten to Brian and Sheridan.
But oh my God, we might just skip their bullshit altogether.
I have amnesia. Who?
So
it's his birthday.
Ethan goes down. It's his birthday.
Yes, it is his birthday, and we got him all the presents he's gotten since he left Pilar's house.
It's his birthday, and I'm ready to skip over it. So anyway, Ethan goes to the police station. He gets there just in time to see Luis and Sam questioning Theresa and all the things that happened that I talked about earlier, wherein Luis is trying to get to the bottom of why Theresa is confessing to this murder, even though he doesn't think she did it. They question her about the events leading up to the murder, specifically asking her about the murder weapon, about the gun. Where, if you shot him, where is the gun? And she says, well, it's on the Crane ground somewhere. I threw it under a bush. They were like, well, how'd you even get a gun? And she's like, I've just found it in the hallway. It was just lying around.
Because Tabitha was just putting guns everywhere. You get a gun. You get a gun.
I literally wrote Tabitha was tiny gun Oprah. Is because she was tiny gun. A tiny gun. Like just everyone.
Everybody got a tiny gun. She was putting them all around the mansion, around the grounds like Easter eggs, and they were all out on a hunt. And they all found guns. And so she tells them that, it was just laying there like somebody sat it there for me to find. And Luis is like, who would just leave a gun lying around? Like, he doesn't believe it because it is so silly, like, to think that she just happened upon a gun. Guns are expensive. Like, people don't just leave them laying around, So anyway.
It is the Crane Mansion.
And dangerous. Guns are expensive and dangerous. So you don't just leave one laying around. So she tells them about where she threw it under a bush somewhere on the Crane grounds after having gone to the cannery where she shot Julian, right? Sam sends some officers to search the grounds. Then he asked her something about the gun, and she says, well, I was wearing gloves.
Because will your fingerprints be on it?
Yeah, and she says, well, I was wearing gloves. And it happened to be the gloves she was wearing, so they collected those gloves as evidence. Luis, like, grabs that bag, grabs the evidence bag, tries to take Theresa out of there. Like, the tension with him gets higher and higher and higher until we get to the point where he, like, quits his job because he's like, this is crazy. My sister didn't do this. But again, it is unclear whether it was accepted by Sam that he's quit or not, because he's still there and he's still questioning Theresa. So this whole investigation is such an absolute mess and disaster.
Clusterfuck. A complete clusterfuck.
Yeah. So then Luis saying he doesn't believe any of this. They collect the evidence. Luis is like throwing a hissy fit, basically, understandably so, but he's like throwing a hissy fit, and Sam's like his dad, like, stop it right now. You got a good career ahead of you. Don't throw it away.
I raised you better than this, is basically what he's like.
Basically. He's like, you're a cop and we have to act like cops. And Luis is kind of like, I am being a cop. This doesn't make sense. Like, I am doing some investigation a little here. Please let me investigate. Because I know my sister didn't do this. So anyway, Ethan arrives and they talk to him saying, like, maybe he can talk some sense into Theresa. So she refuses to talk to him too. And it was so stupid. I'm sorry.
It is. Why wouldn't she talk to him about it? Saying, look, I found this tape. I know it's you, but I'm taking the fall because I can't have you die.
Well, but at this point, I do understand why she wouldn't necessarily say it in the police station. She should have said that, or that he should have been her first stop. She should have called a meeting between him and Ivy, the three of them, her, Ivy, and Ethan, in the library once she got that tape. Right?
I mean,
those are the three people.
Ethan was a little busy fucking Gwen, so I don't know how quickly he would have gotten that message.
Wasn't. I'm talking about when she got the tape. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'm talking about when she got the tape. That should have been her first. Her first move should have been, okay, who would have an interest in this and who would be with me in covering this up, basically. And it's Ethan and Ivy. And you call them into the library and you tell them, hey, I've got this information. What are we going to do about it? What's the plan? Right?
Yeah.
But she didn't do that.
Plan, Phil? Right.
What's the plan? But she didn't do that. So I understand why now that she's at the police station, she doesn't want to say it out loud to Ethan. Hey, I have this tape that you're on murdering Julian, right? Because at this point, she has resolved and resigned herself to taking the blame and the fall for him. Ethan is utterly confused. And like Lisa said earlier, he doesn't look like he understands what's going on at all.
It's so weird. It's so weird. And now, so either he's that dumb, or she should take a clue like, oh, wait, he doesn't seem like he doesn't look like he knows why I'm doing this. And also, the alternative is like, oh, he knows I'm taking the fall for him and he's just going to let it happen. Both are bad. Both are bad.
Yeah. And so Ethan just insists over and over again that Theresa didn't do it. Theresa insists over and over again that she did do it.
I mean,
just
in
say
a way,
she did it and then defend her. That's it. Then just say she did it and defend her. If we're at this point, like,
and yeah,
in a way, I kind of, and not to defend Theresa, she is feeling heavily guilted that he would have gone to this length to protect her, because in her mind, his passion for her is so great that he's willing to come to murder, and she's feeling guilty about that. So that's sort of what's really pushing her to want to now then take the fall for him, because she felt he did this huge sacrifice for her. So she's seeing it as a tit for tat.
whatever.
Which is how the rest of us feeling. But look, I'm trying to give the girl a bone here. Look, see me trying to endear myself a little bit to Theresa, so it's not always Theresa hate. I'm trying here.
Here's the problem is that it's still just like this crazy like self-aggrandizement on her part. Right? Like she's making herself so much bigger than the whole situation. She's making herself, out again. She's making herself out to be basically this kind of Jesus type character, right? Like that.
But
that's
always
so
been
selfless.
her personality. Look at Bermuda when Sheridan died. Oh my God, it's my fault that hurricane came and killed Sheridan.
But that's her saying like, oh, this is my fault and making something necessarily about her. But this is megalomaniac like level of like narcissism. It really is.
She's unwell.
She's unwell. She's unwell. The girl's a lunatic.
Right.
So anyway,
they put the lunatic in jail.
They locked her up. Okay. Not before Luis. It says that he committed the crime. Okay.
Which was a great strategy, I thought, because you could see it immediately got her. That was the first time she's like, no, you didn't do it. So everyone should have just said they did it. Everyone.
That's what I was saying. It was a very I am Spartacus moment, right?
100%.
I was thinking, because when Luis then says that he murdered Julian and gives all of his reasons, it was very compelling. It was very plausible, right? We've heard him say how much he hates Julian since episode 1. So it's like, yeah, maybe he did kill Julian. He gives all these reasons, but Theresa she didn't see it going this direction. And now it's both of these Lopez Fitzgeralds trying to confess to a crime that they didn't commit to save somebody else that they love. Because why does Luis then, what was the reason? Who remembers? What was the reason that Luis decided to say that he committed this murder? Anybody?
Was it to save Theresa?
It was to save Theresa, but it was because she thought
yes,
he had killed Julian. He thought that she was covering for him.
Oh, I thought that was just his story. I thought that was just his story.
I think she thinks he did it. I know that's a crazy sentence.
I thought he just made that up to appease Sam in the moment. Like, look, he found out that I did it, and now she's trying to cover for me. I don't think he really thought that she thought he did it.
I thought that he was like, she thinks I did it and she's here to save me. But it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense, but whatever. He confesses to the crime. Sam doesn't accept it, right? He's like, she already did it.
Which is stupid. In the real world, they just both get arrested.
Right. You would get statements from both of them. They're both suspects, right? You just hold them like you don't.
I mean, they're siblings. It's possible they did it together.
Right.
The Menendez siblings.
Right. The Lopez Fitzgerald brother and sister. Right. Truly. So, no, Luis does not get arrested. Only Theresa gets arrested. And after some back and forth, so they book her and put her in a cell. Luis calls Whitney to come and gives Theresa some support. I get it, but I also am like, Whitney's a child. She shouldn't be.
No, like I was like, once again, this police force is relying on a child to like make or break a case. Like,
So and why are we not calling Pilar her mother?
Because
I thought about this.
She'll start stressing out and crying and praying.
I thought about that.
But she's gonna find out at some point. He's like, oh, where's Theresa? She didn't come in for dinner. Because she's in jail.
Here's what I think. I think the reason Pilar hasn't been called is because Luis doesn't want Theresa to be booked for this at all. He wants her to walk for right now. So he was hoping, I think he was like, I don't have to call mama until I have to call mama. I'm not calling mama until I have to call mama. He didn't have to call her yet, right? I'm not gonna burden her with this until, I mean, he didn't even tell her that her own son was in town. So
also true.
He doesn't want to tell her. He doesn't want to give her this news. But anyway, Whitney shows up to give Theresa some support. Theresa won't talk to her. That's where we ended this week. Anything to add on this?
I can't believe they let her in the cell. That was nuts.
That is crazy.
Like they hugged, they embraced. She could have given her something. She could have like.
This is passions, baby. That's passions, baby.
Also,
one question. Oh, go ahead.
Just no one's really. I feel like no one's playing on this pregnancy more. like Theresa really could be like, oh, my baby, and like try and like delay justice and or whatever. You know what I mean? Like no one is
She
like
doesn't want that. She wants to go to jail.
Well, she's in jail, right? Like as long as they think it's her and not Ethan, the attention's on her. So like she could still like play it out like no one's concerned about about putting a pregnant woman in jail is what I guess is weird.
Like pregnant women go to jail all the time.
Yeah, so yeah.
Without,
they do.
Without
Women give birth in prisons.
They do.
Regularly.
Yeah.
So.
And unfortunately get the babies taken away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of them are lucky enough to be able to spend like a month with their baby, but for the most part, they take their babies pretty much damn near immediately. So anyway, that was sad. Moving on.
Wait, I did have one point, and this is more of a comment on passions and why. When they did book Theresa, the picture, they put her at 5'6". Lindsay Hartley is not 5'6", and I don't understand why they decided to make her.
She was wearing shoes.
The woman is 5'3".
She's
tiny.
She might. I think from 5'3" to 5'6", if you're wearing like a boot with a nice heel on it, I think that's. And she is always wearing a boot with a heel.
She's always wearing heels.
Okay. So, but for a mugshot, wouldn't they make you take it off so they could show your true height?
That's true. Maybe they would have made her take off her shoes so it would be.
You want the real height. It just felt weird because I was like 5'6". I know the actress is not that tall, and I looked it up.
They didn't make it like that chart did not have actual like measurements on it at all. It was just somebody painted it and eyeballed it and just wrote.
I was just wondering if maybe like the actress was like, please don't put my actual height. Because she's so tiny. It's like, please make me a little bit taller, please. Could be.
Well, I haven't had anything to say in quite a while because I have nothing else to say for quite a while. This is usually the time where Latara asks if we have anything else to say. I'm going to use this as my quick break. Just give me 1 second.
The picture, for those of you who are listening, Eric put up Theresa's mugshot as his picture in his Zoom square.
You missed the height, but this is amazing.
Heart.
I love this.
Well, actually, that looks like if the dark lines are the feet. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there's not 8 inches in a foot. I don't know what this is. The graphics department fucked up. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
With that said, I hope that when I go back to work, I remember to change my profile photo.
Oh yeah.
I hope you don't.
I know that'll be awesome.
I hope you don't. I mean, that'd be a great shirt, and just see what people say. Just like that's
it's a conversation.
And Eric,
starter.
you didn't actually get to say your favorite line from Rebecca when she renames Theresa.
Oh! I just love that she called her "Kiss My Tamale Goodbye, Lopez Fitzgerald." She did not say Crane. She will not give her that.
No, they won't give her that.
Like, what is her name? Is it Theresa Lopez Fitzgerald Crane? Are those like getting married to someone is not the same thing as changing your name?
No,
so,
but that's what they call her throughout the rest of the series because for years after this show, when I would stub my toe, I would go, Theresa Lopez Fitzgerald Crane. I mean, I would use it as a cuss word.
But like here, it's the Lopez Fitzgerald is gone, and it's just Crane.
She took it. I mean, in the next from now on, she is Theresa Lopez Fitzgerald Crane.
On the picture, they only put her as Theresa.
Yes,
but it's probably just because all her names wouldn't.
Her names wouldn't even fit.
No, it wouldn't.
It's big enough for the marquee. You'll run out of letters.
We gotta move on. Let's go on because I'm losing. I don't know if you can see it. I'm losing steam. So
no.
Let's go into
this won't take long. Famous last words.
We'll let Lisa run with this because it's her favorite couple, right?
That's why you save them for last.
How dare you?
Like I said, this is last, so we can run it through.
It's his birthday.
Okay.
Because if we do anything at the top, we always spend, it doesn't matter what it is, we always spend more time on the things at the top than we do on the things at the bottom. And it doesn't matter what it is, we will just bear into the details because we have the time. So today, let's move on to Sheridan and Louise.
No, Sheridan and Antonio.
Diana and
Brian.
These
Diana
horrible people. I can't stand Diana.
I hate them both.
I hate her too.
I hate them both.
I love Mackenzie. I hate Diana.
I mean, my hate for Antonio / Brian is well documented, but Diana, I don't
know. This episode, this whole week, I'm like, what a fucking idiot! I hate her. This is it's like original Sheridan's back before we liked.
Worse.
Like Paris.
She goes away with complete strangers.
Kidnaps herself again because y'all
secondary location.
She kidnapped herself one other time. So I guess this is just a return to form. So let's just talk about it. Brian and Diana are at the hotel, which they need to go back to work. First of all,
that's what I wrote. How do they have money? Who is paying for all of this?
I don't
they do tell us who's paying for it all later on. We finally find out because I think they did it. I think the writers must have done it because
they knew damn well.
Been there for so long.
Yes.
Everybody, I have forgotten why they were even at that hotel, and they do finally give us some recap on that. Usually recap every damn thing, but they finally reminded us what they're doing there. So anyway.
Someone said they were running out of steam, and there's a lot of steam coming out of those ears.
Listen, I'm pushing the steam out of me.
So reanimated right now. It's crazy. She got arms moving, and she woke up.
I'm trying to get through it. Okay, this is called powering through. Ever heard of it? Okay, so
Gwen heard about it a little while ago.
Oh my God, moving on.
Clink.
She's gonna start for those that are
listening. For those that are listening, I still have my champagne glass. Okay.
Oh my God!
I am still in celebration.
Sorry, we lost Eric. Everybody, let's keep
going. It's for some reason Eric's mic's not working. Anyway. So
all right.
These two are at this hotel that they've been at forever, it seemingly. Mm-hmm. And Brian's in a towel. There's my first note is porn setup because it seems like the beginning of a porno, of an old porno. So think of the cheesiest porno you've ever seen, and that's what the dialogue was like in this scene. Then they start to talk about their past lives. Who gives a shit? Then, and I wrote this note. They make such a big deal about these past lives because now Diana and Brian do not have to do any of the work of actually getting to know each other.
Correct.
That pisses me off. I hate it as a device. Maybe one day we will talk more at length about it, but today is not that day. Going on. Diana gets a memory about her past life. It's a nice memory. It's lovely. But for some reason, she starts crying. And then Brian's like, why are you crying? She's like, we had such a lovely life together and I'm so afraid I will lose you. I've lost my memory. I've lost my other love. Girl, please.
Right. She's making his birthday all about her. Immediately.
Yeah.
Like it was her birthday and now she's like, I just feel so sad and alone. I feel like a nobody.
And he tells her, and I think I'm going to use Lisa's joke here because we watched this on the watch party. She says something about being alone and I'm so scared I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. If I lose you, I'll be alone. He says to her, everyone who knows you loves you. And Lisa said, nobody knows her. Lisa was like, yeah, you're the only person who knows her, and Liz knows her, and Liz doesn't like her. Liz certainly doesn't love her. And which was hilarious. It was hilarious because I was like, absolutely, that's so true. Everyone who knows you loves you.
Who?
Well, nobody knows nobody knows her. She doesn't know anybody. She doesn't know anybody.
Doc?
Yeah, she knows 3 people. Liz, Doc, and Brian. That's it.
Whenever you feel scared, just tap into your inner strength.
Ugh. Yeah, he tells her that.
And then it works and she's like, thanks. And then he kisses her, which is the grossest kiss because you have a woman who is vulnerable, feeling sad, and then you shove your tongue into her face.
Yeah.
And then he defends it by saying, I just wanted you to realize what a special person you are. Disgusting.
Yeah, by putting your tongue in my mouth. No,
it's so it's like men don't know how to be around a sad woman. They just don't know what to do with themselves when a woman is sad. And they either try to fix it or get mad at them because they go to get defensive, or they just show physical attention as a way to let's make this go away. I want to make
present company excluded, Eric.
Obviously.
Yes.
I'm just in general.
Eric is muted. Who muted him?
I didn't mute Eric. Eric muted himself. I didn't mute him. He muted himself, and I'm gonna unmute him. Unmute yourself, Eric. That's not. We were just joking.
I was not responding to the comment. I really just muted myself because I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, he just doesn't even want to
say whatever you want to say. Yeah. I was just joking before. And also I wasn't the one who said anything about muting you. That was
it was
anyway. My next note was 727 should open with a trigger warning, and it should because
excuse me.
Mm-hmm. It should. 727 should have opened with a trigger warning because these two start having horrible sex, and we had to watch Gwen and Ethan together, which I'm sure you enjoyed. I did not. So, but I think we can all agree that this was gross. Yes.
I don't think they had sex. Yes. To be honest, I don't think they had sex. Because
they did sex. They start to have sex. Yeah. Because she's
and
like,
the room service just walks in.
No.
Well, the phone rings.
Oh, the phone rang before, and it was them confirming their dinner reservation, which turns out is 10 minutes before their actual dinner is supposed to be. So, like, that's not how confirmations work. But they get into bed, and then at the 7-minute mark, that's when they're kissing in the dark, right? He's on top of her. They're both naked. And then the maid walks in. She yells 10 sentences out loud before leaving. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. The door was just like, instead of just closing the door and leaving. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, after making out naked on top of each other in bed, that's when Brian says, and by the way, she had already said, make love to me. She had said that before the last commercial break. So like,
it is consensual.
Now, 8 minutes later, he goes, are you sure you want to do this? This is a big step, which is ridiculous because they've been in bed for 10 minutes. Like, and naked, so they hadn't fucked yet, and also they're in their late 20s, like mid 20s. Like, are you sure you want to do this? This is a big step. And then she says, "I might never forget my dead lover, but I have to move on, and I'd like to move on with you." And then the phone rings again. So I don't know that they actually maybe just a tip, just to see how it feels.
She said, "I'll never forget my dead lover." To which I wrote, "But you did."
But you did.
You did.
But you did.
But you did. So the phone rings. It's their reservation. They have to get ready to go to this birthday dinner for Brian. Meanwhile, this mysterious man lays in wait for them at the restaurant. He knows what restaurant they're going to for some reason. Then some other guys show up who clearly have nefarious intent and are like hell-bent on getting revenge on Brian for some mysterious reason. Then Diana and Brian, Lord Jesus, Diana and Brian go to the restaurant, and there's this band there. What was the band called? Seven in the Sun.
Seven in the Sun. And I actually remember this from watching it the first time around. The lead singer, who is called Seven Volpone, I think, is actually Mackenzie's husband at the time. And he did agree to be on the show, which is why they were on for so long. They were popular at the time.
Sense.
It was 3 minutes and 20 seconds of silence.
He agreed to be on the show for them.
Tara watched it with sound, probably.
Well, no.
Yeah. Wow.
Here's what happened for me. The sound cut out. I was actually grateful to this band because it cut out some time that I didn't have to watch. Right.
Exactly.
So I just fast forwarded, and I was like, there's no sound, and they're just at a concert of this band. So there's nothing happening. They never talked to each other. There was no dialogue. And once we got past that point, then the sound came back. So I did look up that song though. I looked up the band. I looked up the song. Eric sent it to me too. But I looked up the band. I looked up the song. He's her ex-husband.
Well, they were married
at the time,
2011.
Yeah, at the time they were married.
They had just been married.
Okay.
Yeah, and her son Maddox, who was born in 2006, is their son together.
Is their son. Okay.
They just are no longer together. They have since divorced, and she is now with one of the judges for when she hosted Face Off.
Right. Okay. So, because that song was not.
Was it Walk Along With Me? Was it the song?
Yeah, it was that song.
That's what I assumed it would be. In the song, there are lyrics where they say walk in harmony, and I thought we were finally going to get one of those things where we hadn't had in a while where she was like, Wow, Harmony. Doesn't that sound like I feel like I keep getting called back to that, but they didn't. And it was right there. Writers.
Right
it's
there.
so easy. It's right there.
They didn't actually listen to the song or the lyrics.
No, they didn't care.
I thought that maybe that band had been signed to Universal or something, so they were doing like a, some
crossover,
like cross promotion for them or something. I was like, I don't know what this is about, but thank you to Seven and the Sun that I don't have to watch. That's 3 minutes of this show I don't have to watch.
And I think they just play their album for the rest of the episode. So anytime there's like supposed to be talking and you can't hear it because they just mute it. So
one of those guys called him Brian O'Leary, and I was like, isn't he Brian O'Leary?
Mm-hmm. Dialects.
I don't know.
Okay, I guess. Larry and Leary sound very different to me.
Let's talk about these guys. Okay, so this restaurant.
We've got more goons.
We got some goons. Yeah,
we haven't had goons in a while.
Mostly I wrote, I don't care. Or mostly my notes. I don't care. I also wrote a note, thank you for the band, because I don't have to hear about any of the conversations that Sheridan and
because Brian talk, I did end up going and watching with the sound. So I took notes on what they were talking about.
Look at you. You should use the applause button for yourself.
There was a point when
you're doing the Lord's work.
That's even better.
Honestly.
That's even better.
The only reason I went back is because they were doing a lot of talking and I didn't want to miss anything. And I was kind of glad that I did go and check it because at first I was going to just kind of glean what the scenes were about. But here's what happened. Diana orders a bottle of, first they have champagne. I don't know where the champagne came from because after they watch the band or whatever, they come back to the table and Diana orders a bottle of expensive champagne from the menu. And then Brian takes the menu. He's like, let me take a look at that. He looks at it. He's like, did you look at the price of this champagne? Like, we can't afford this. And she's like, yeah, oh my God, I completely forgot we don't have any money. And so then he says, we'll just have 2 glasses of house wine. And then this is when we get the reminder of why they're there. And it was because they were sailing a boat down to Bermuda for some doctor who had left his boat at Liz's place, I guess. And that doctor is also footing their hotel bill. So that answers the question of how are they paying for all of this? The doctors
and the champagne?
Not the champagne, right? So they would have had to pay for that champagne. I don't know how they got those glasses. Maybe they were complimentary.
It was on the house. The guy brought it over. He goes, this is on the house.
Oh, okay, great. Cool. So we remember why they're there and how they got there. They then talk about Diana says, it's crazy because I don't know anything about myself, but I did just order that very, I clearly have expensive taste. That's what she said. I clearly have expensive taste. Maybe I was rich in my past life. And he's like, maybe you were. And she's like, would you be upset if I was rich? He's like, why would that upset me?
Bitch, I'm broke.
Yeah. So then, one guy, these two nefarious guys, one that we've seen for a couple of weeks, and then the new guy who seems to be like the boss or whatever, they managed to separate Diana and Brian. Do you remember how that happened? Brian ended up going, yes. I think he got up to do something and the other guy like encountered him.
Just came in and
yeah. This is the worst birthday party in the world. I would be so pissed if like someone threw this birthday party for me and I had to go to I said, Brian's dressed like a 30s mobster. She's dressed like King Kong is about to pick her up. And they're at this bar with people are in jeans and t-shirts dancing. They're making out over a yellow polka dot table. It's like 2 rich people at a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, go back to bed. Go to bed. Like he said, all I want to do for my birthday is stay here with you. Order room service and fuck your man. And like, if that's what you want to do, I don't know why they're there.
I don't know. I think Charity's party is worse, but this is also a terrible party. Well, although at least Charity has like friends there, so.
So anyway, I think he sees the goons and he gets up to like tell them to go away. I think that's what happened. I think he saw the goons. He's like, I'll be right back. And
well,
then
the two of them, Brian gets confronted by this guy whose name is Nick. We learn later. His name is Nick. And Brian tells him, I've got nothing to say to you. But he eventually goes with this guy because this guy it seemed like he like threatened to basically expose him to Diana or something. Like he was using Diana as like a threat, basically. So Brian goes with him without telling Diana, because this guy basically makes him. And he's like, we're just going to talk over a friendly game of pool. And meanwhile, that other guy goes and sits down with Diana and tells her this was nuts. This was weird. Absolutely crazy. He sits down, he says, I overheard you talking to your guy about wanting to buy a birthday present for him, but not having any money. I know how you can make some money. A man walks up to you. On. Yeah, yes. A man walks up to you in a restaurant on a random island and tells you, you're really beautiful. I know how you can make some money. Don't you?
Oh,
you
yeah.
might think
Nothing
I'm
shady about that.
And that's what I was talking about. What really upset me is like, I mean, like, I understand that Diana's a reset, but she doesn't know not to go with strangers, but knows poker hands. I don't know how her memory works.
Exactly. I'm like, how do you not remember stranger danger? What is going on?
Yeah.
So he tells her he knows a way she can make some money. It's perfectly legal. And she's skeptical at first, but not skeptical enough, because the way I would have told this man to fuck all the way off. All the way off. Because first of all, why are you listening to my conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weird.
Exactly.
So, but she's such an easy mark. I might have conned her myself. So, like, truly. So she follows him.
To a secondary location.
To a second location, yeah.
Worst thing.
She says, I don't want to leave the restaurant. He's like, well, we're not going off the premises. He opens a bag.
We'll be back before he even notices you're gone.
Yeah. He says, and then he says, this is the back room. I want to show you this back room. Oh,
and she says, okay.
He opens the door and it's like a casino. But why is the casino in a back room behind a door? Because it's probably an illegal casino, Sheridan. And she says, I thought you said this was completely legal. And he says, well, playing cards isn't illegal here. Well, they're not, the card playing isn't the issue. It's the gambling. Is the gambling legal? But
it's also not illegal in the States. It's not illegal in the state. It's legal in the States, and like there are places in the world where it's legal. So like she's shocked.
I was I was actually curious about this, and I looked it up, and at the time, gambling was illegal in Bermuda. It did not become legal until 2015.
Gambling is illegal in a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that it was in a hidden back room in this beautiful, nice restaurant
that should tell you.
Tip me off.
Yeah.
That they're hiding something back. Like this is hidden for some reason.
Exactly.
This is hidden because it's illegal.
She starts with $10.
Yeah, she says she's only got $10. He says that's all she needs, and she can make a fortune just using her $10 with lady luck. So she goes to the blackjack table. It's clearly rigged. She's winning. She's up. This guy conspicuously goes and talks to the dealer who's dealing Sheridan's cards, right? So he clearly knows this guy. And he says he whispers something to the dealer about Diana not being alive long enough to spend her winnings. So, like I said, she's kidnapped herself again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where we ended this week. Y'all have anything to add?
Well, we didn't. Can we just talk about the conversation in the room?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
With Brian, and I know you're so eager to be done.
No, we have to talk about what Brian talked about with the guy, with Nick.
So the first thing he goes, there's nothing I hate more than a lowlife who makes his living off the backs of innocent people. And I'm like, so you stay, so you, like, that's exactly, you've been doing that to Liz, and now you're doing it to this doctor. Like, this is exactly what you're doing, but fine. You know, it's whatever. That's exactly what you're doing. So it turns out that this guy tried to defraud a bunch of people, retirees, out of their money. And Brian told them and reported the guy to the FBI and fucked it up. So that's why he owes him money, air quotes, because he stopped a theft that would have gone to this guy, which I was like, oh, okay. I hate Brian maybe half a degree, a little bit, like less, so at least that's noble.
I don't know. During that watch party, you all were disgusted the minute he walked out on screen.
I'm still disgusted with him.
We are.
I was disgusted with him in the hotel room.
The energy that evening, I was like, oh, Lord.
I hate so much.
The thing about this, though, with Brian saying that, let me see what he said.
He hasn't been noble yet. This is
I'm happy that...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was just to say, Lisa, I was going to say what you just made me remember was a note that I took, which was, she says, Brian doesn't like to take blood money, much like his mother.
Yeah, he's so noble, I guess.
The first noble thing that I just think he's so sleazy and gross. For me, I needed a reason to think like there's something redemptive of him, because everything he's done, even him like calling his mom, leaving a present, like all of it's been like stupid and gross, and I hate him. But like this was like, oh, he actually like stood up to a bad guy and saved people like money. Like,
I mean, he says
he's good.
He says, I just made sure the rightful owners got to keep what was rightfully theirs, and it's, listen, it's fine. Do I think that it's this grand gesture of like, it is the bare minimum when you find out that somebody is about to do something terrible, Father Lonigan. It is the bare minimum that you report it. It is the bare minimum.
So, Antonio's good acts are few and far between. He's very selfish. So I understand the hate.
Yeah.
I guess I really didn't care about him the first watch, so it didn't bother me.
No, I don't care about it on the second watch. Anyway.
Yeah. I will say I'm upset at Sheridan in that, like, the guy she's talking to walks behind the table and listen, I love gambling. That's not an option.
No.
So he's like talking to the dealer. It's so weird.
In hushed tones. Like not even like, how's your mom? No.
Yeah. Let her keep winning. The boss says it's okay for her to keep winning.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, I
have nothing else to add.
Good, because I'm done. Brian says that he is broke. He doesn't have any money to give Nick. And Nick says, I want my money back. You owe me money, whatever. That's it. We're done. Finally, my God. Play the wrong noise.
The crickets was even funnier. The cricket was better.
That's like when us turned to the audience for applause and they all left like 2 hours. Curtain call and no one's there.
That is so funny.
This is gonna be a long one. Honestly,
and I'm sure people will love it.
2 parts, because it would be nice to have an episode be two episodes.
Give yourself a buffer.
You know what I mean?
Give you a buffer.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Listen, if we can prolong this series as long as it has, you deserve the right to do so as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Eric, where can everybody find you online?
I'm Mr. Eric Veda at everything.
On everything. Maria, Lisa, typically neither of you want to share any
I'm so boring.
social media, so
I don't want to disappoint
we can
people.
change it today if you want, but no.
Well,
follow Eric,
follow Eric. And like I said, you want to talk to me, find me on the Discord. But I do want to finally say congratulations to Ethan and Gwen for getting back together. Cheers.
Congratulations.
The privilege of having a soundboard ready to go.
Oh, I'm going to have to get my own at this point.
I want one. I want one for my life.
Listen, my daddy bought me this, and it was expensive, and I didn't ask for it. He just randomly sent it to me.
But hey, you got to tell him at some point it has come in handy.
Yes, it has.
He thought I was going to use it for something else, but I use it once a week for sound effects, and it works. It's great.
Good.
But anyway, if y'all want to catch me, you know where to catch me. Come join the Patreon if you want to talk to me more. Come join the Patreon. We have a lot of fun. So with that, finally, you are my passion for life.